I'm in with my occlusion. Never see you look my illusion. I see you crew contusions. I'm back with another episode. We got Anthony to the left. We're doing our very best. We're seeing what we got left on the track. We're on to a new day. It's January, but I say I can't see what you're doing. And I think I'm just figuring out there. So I don't have plans sometimes. One thing I wrote the beat. Well, like I said, in the studio, lying in the truth. Let's see if I can focus on. Ugh, man, I got these cameras that zoom in, and I never realize how bad it is sometimes. Like, yeah, that's a. How can a good picture and a bad picture all be the same thing?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sorry, I was smiling so much just because it's weird to see yourself on video. Like, I've never seen myself on video or heard my voice.
Oh, yeah. No, I have way too many pornos on my phone. So,
like, have you ever been like told like that you have an attractive voice? Like,
no.
I've been told, but I'm like, girl, you lying to me. Like, there's nothing attractive about this. Like, I cringe listening to my like recorded sets.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've always been like that too. Like, I play guitar and I sing and I write music and stuff. But like, I hate hearing myself sing. And people are like, "Oh, you're good." I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know. And I talk so much. I've never heard anybody say, you know, like, I love hearing your voice. They're like, shut the fuck up. That's usually the number one thing I get.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, what you been up to, buddy? I heard you've been doing open mics recently, getting around.
Yeah, getting around. Going from like Fresno and Clovis open mics. I've traveled to Bakersfield and done some. I just plan on just trying to go as many places as I can, you know?
Yeah.
Get on stage and see all the different audiences that I can try to work with, different rooms, you know?
Where'd you go to in Bakersfield?
I went to the Wells.
Wells, okay, yeah, seen it. Pretty nice?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah?
Big stage, different environment.
A lot of people?
Yeah, good amount of people.
There, yeah.
Went up there and bombed my first time.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy because I took that hour-and-a-half drive. And, like, you know, you're driving there. The night before I had a decent set. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go in there, you know, do okay.
Yeah.
Went up there and died for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. No, I know how that goes. One time, I was doing sets, like I told you, I was doing open mics in San Jose at Rooster Teeth Feathers. I don't think it's open anymore. But I was doing open mics there, and then they had like a new comics spotlight, you know, like 20 comics is a big thing that, you know, I was all stoked about. You have to get on, you have to do a couple open mics first to get on the list and get on the list. You know, it's not that big a deal. But, you know, I was excited about it, you know. So, and it was in San Jose, and it happened to be a day that I didn't work. So I had to drive up there just for this event. And I think halfway up there, one of my kids called me, and they're like, just, you know, I got 2 teen boys. Right now they're 18 and 17, and my daughter's 13. So, you know, chaos. Basically called me with some issues. I'm like, fuck, take care of it. And then like they did something wrong, and so I can't even remember the situation, but it put me so mentally in the wrong situation. And then I went on stage, instead of me just relaxing and, you know, fixing myself, I let it get to me. It was, I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? I went up there, I fumbled, and I was just like, man, I just drove 2.5 hours and I drove home like, you motherfucking kids, you know, so pissed off. Like, I can't believe I act like an idiot, you know? So I get it.
Yeah, like I went back on that drive home. Just, dude, like, I really put myself through an hour-and-a-half drive to just be up there and not be funny.
Yeah. Did you go by yourself?
I went on my own, so it was even worse. Because,
yeah.
like, you know, when you have somebody to talk to, you can, like, BS on the road.
Yeah.
So, but, like, when you're on your own, it's, like, only so much music, and you start to think, like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Like, why did I fumble?
Yeah, why did I say that? It was so much silence.
And, like, one thing that I do that I think is just funny is that I go over there and talk about where I'm at. Like, because, you know, it's funny for us, like, for people to come here and talk about us, but I guess when I go over there, people are just like, no, I love this city too much. I ain't rolling with you on that one.
Yeah, yeah. It's what they call that, local comedy. You know, you go to a town. Danny was really good at that. We went to plays, and he would just pick the town apart, and then he would crack jokes on it. Like, ah, man, he did some investment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good for that. But you talk about Fresno, and like, yeah, we don't like you either. I don't get it. Like, yeah, we don't like you. You know?
I'm like, damn, bro. Like, cause you know, I feel like we're so different, but in the same. And I just go up there and just be like comparing us to them, and like, and it's like that. I lost the crowd right away. I'm like, I lost you guys already just on my first opening, like freestyle. Like, have you ever done that where you go up there, you have something planned, and then I don't know, you're like, I'm gonna switch it up, dude. I'm gonna just.
Yes, I do that all the time.
Good.
I think I get it's too overconfident. The key is to, and when I was in 7th grade, I always thought I was a comic. I always thought it was funny stand up. So in 7th grade, I took drama, and it was like the only thing close to doing something. And I'm like, and then they had one of the assignments was, you know, after like, you know, a couple of weeks, you had to come up with a skit to go out there live in front of your whole class and do like a 3-minute skit. So I had this puppet. I thought, hey, I'll do it, you know, a funny thing. I had nothing planned. I wasn't smart enough. I had ADD. You know what I mean? Like I had no chance. You know what I mean? It was failure from the get. I shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? And I went up there, and I was remember like the hottest chicks from 7th grade, and ended up being the hottest chicks. One of them ends up being a 49er cheerleader. You know what I mean? Like hottest chicks just sitting there in front of me as I go, hey, what up, Reuben? Oh, hey, what's up, Teddy? What are you doing? Nothing. I'm just in class. Yeah, so hey, everybody. Like that was it. And then you start thinking, and once you start thinking, you're not even in the set. You're watching yourself now. Like, oh, fuck, I forgot.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Look, you're failing, Reuben. Like, no, you need to be Reuben. Don't watch Reuben fail.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. A sock puppet. Did you actually like create one? Like,
no, it was you know, my mom at the time worked at this place in Fresno called the Dollhouse, and they went bankrupt. So she got like all these like it was a stuffed animal that you put your hand up his ass and fucking move his mouth and shit. It was, you know, but it was stupid. It's like a teddy bear or something. But it was literally as dumb as it could be. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And I've carried that to this day that I'm always thought, man, be prepared. Stop doing that. But like I went to a show here. I had an idea, like I made a joke to my wife one time and, you know, said about tampons. You know, she was like, you know, don't look at the string. Don't look at the string. And she's walking around getting dressed or something like that. I'm like, oh, man, it looks like you're a pull star. You know, I'm like, I need to turn that into a joke. You know what I mean? So like, I'll talk to my kid. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So I went on stage like the next day and tried to turn that into a joke. And then it was funny. The idea is kind of funny. You know what I mean? But what I said and how I said it, the cadence wasn't funny. And I was like, man, I have 5 minutes I'm working on. Why did I do the 5 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did this stuff that I'm never going to do that has literally no investment.
Yeah, dude. Just talking about that, man. That's funny. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when you try stuff like that, it's so, like, you go up there and, like, you end up being the joke. Like, not even the joke. You end up being it because people are like, whoa. They're like that surprise factor. So I've been trying to write stuff for, like, that's kind of universal now, you know, because it's like only a certain group can get it. Like I went up there and said stuff like, told a story about growing up, and only a certain group of people were like, we got it, because like I use slang. So they were like, bro, like one of my friends was like, you got to kind of like dumb it down for certain people who don't understand the way you're talking.
No cap.
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
My wife's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You got a cap on. No cap.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, 100%.
And you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, so I've been trying to change the way I talk in a way, you know, to try to get everybody.
If I was like my podcast, I don't want to be like, oh, we're Republicans or we're Democrats. Well, that's 50% of you fucking just cut 50%. The other half is not going to be fun. You know, laughing. Unless the joke is so intelligent and it doesn't put down that group, you're not going to get them to laugh. Like, how are you going to do it? You know what I mean? You got to be like, oh, that was good. You know what I mean? So, you try to, Mexican jokes, right? Yeah. So, like, I'm slightly Mexican, but I talk about being slightly Mexican. But if I keep going that road, the white people don't give a fuck. Like, enough already. We don't give a fuck. We know. We're in Fresno. We got enough Mexicans. You know what I mean? Or I'll talk, my parents are stoners, so it's about smoking weed. But if I keep going that weed, so it's like you kind of like, just got skits and kind of got to be universal. Or I'm divorced. Like, these kids are like 30. Like, no, none of us are married. We're all unlovable.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What do you call that? Domestic partners. Like, I ain't trying to marry her, but she could stay for 10 years.
Yeah, she could.
Partners.
Yeah, hang out for a little while. That'd be smarter. Yeah. It's an investment. We're here for life. But you got insurance, right? Cool. Fist bump.
Yeah, I need that dental. Her plan and my plan.
Yeah, that's like the number one thing I always hear people get married for is insurance. When I was younger, I remember dating, and I left in construction, we get paycheck stubs and shitload them every week. You know what I mean? So I had them on the counter. I'm proud of them too. Being, I've always been a young electrician since I was like 17. I'm 45 now, and then but always it's good money. So I've always been proud of it. I work my ass off. My dad's a plumber, so we're broke motherfuckers. So but I had my paycheck stubs out, and a girl comes out, and she's like, "Are you trying to impress me by how much money you make?" I'm like, "No, bitch. If I want to impress you, I'll show you how good my benefits are. That's what really counts. I got dental, and I got vision. You know what I mean? Like, look at your teeth. I can help you out. You know what I mean?
It's like you're like when health insurance is like you're on a different tier when it gets better. Because like if you have like Blue Shield, they're like, oh, okay. Because I'm in like an office, they're like, oh, you have Kaiser, and people get so impressed. I'm like, what?
Yeah, man. Well, you got a good job, huh? Yeah. What are you doing?
They send me those shady doctors in like Fulton Mall.
Yeah, man. I've always had really good insurance. I always call like the union always brags about when they get people to sign up that we have the Cadillac of insurance. They used to call it. It was way better before, but now it's like $20. That's it, copay. I'm like, oh, I got shoulder surgery. Here's $20. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So I've gone to the doctor sometimes, and they're like, well, you got insurance? I'm like, here's my card. And like, there's one place I go to. For some reason, something always happens, and they don't keep my insurance. I'm like, dude, I was here a month ago, and I signed. Like, just I got insurance. Pay for everything. Like, I pay for everything.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I heard a story the other day. I was here with a fucking thing I heard on the news. They were saying that people are buying books more now than they used to, and I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Like, because people aren't getting smarter, right? People aren't getting more intelligent. They're not like, hey, how many times you've been out? Hey, I was reading this book the other day. It's like, no, I never see that. I see like, hey, you see that meme I posted? You know what I mean? So I think people bought books because now we're doing Zooms from home. I need a cool backdrop. You know what I mean? Or like we're doing online dating, and this girl's going to show up my house, and I have to have more than just magazines, so I bought books. I bought books around. But like, oh, yeah, you're fucking into science. Like, yeah, that's why I got the science books, and how to cook.
Yeah, I only do audiobooks. I can't open one. I have a ton of books that I've yet to read. I go to Barnes & Noble, and like literally it's a loss because I don't even bother opening them. They're just in a drawer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I guess like I tell people, I just can't read, dude. I get stuck on a page for like a minute, and I'm like, this is boring. Turn something on, dude. Like,
well, if you want to break it down, people, it's like this. If you don't read, they think that you're not smart, right? They're like, oh, you're not reading books, but what they do before books? Smart people talk to them, and we listened.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that. I'm not dumb. I'm just old school. Okay, you just have to read it on your high technology paper. Look, I'm going to get it from the source. I'm going to listen to him tell me the story of what's on the book. You know what I mean? So it's better for us to hear it audio.
It is, and especially like I listen to like a lot of like I got what's it called, apocalyptic theme books, like like the world's ending type of stuff. Yeah,
Happy
that stuff is crazy.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like real or like fantasy.
Fantasy ones,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like it's crazy because, but it mentions a lot of like real stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So like, I'm like, dude, like maybe I should get in on this.
Yeah, life's like a Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah.
Somehow everything, if you can make it all make sense. Like, oh, that's why they started Bubba Gump because of Forrest. Like, no, it's made up. The whole shit, it's all bullshit.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I never seen Forrest Gump. I never seen any of those movies, bro.
You're not a movie watcher?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you watch fantasy movies? It's Marvel comics.
Yeah, I watch them. I was just watching Sing before I came here.
What's that?
Sing.
Oh yeah.
Wallet.
Yeah, my kids are about to go see Sing here today at 4.
I love that movie, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a tattoo of it too and everything.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. My wife and kids. So for Christmas, my wife gave my kids the girls. So I have a daughter and I have a blended family. So I have 5 kids total. So I have we're 50-50. 5 kids 1 week. Next week we're going to Vegas. You know what I mean? So anyways, so the girls got trips to Disneyland for Christmas. It was like right after Christmas they go to Disneyland. And then because my wife and the kids decided to get Christmas tickets or Disneyland tickets, her whole family decided. So literally it was like 25, 30 of them all went to Disneyland around like the first of the year. They go up there. One of them takes a baby that's coughing. They all come back. They all got COVID. Yeah. So everybody's all quarantined, all locked away. We've been fucking testing like a motherfucker forever. But they were over at their mom's house and getting tested. You know what I mean? But my wife and kids, they love Disney. My wife has to go to sleep with the TV on. Disney's on all fucking night.
Dang.
Like literally, I'm like, I don't know how many times I've seen, what's that movie? Beauty and the Beast, the real one.
Yeah.
Literally on loop
Dang.
every night. But I don't go there.
Yeah.
Is Sing the only one, or you like cartoons in general?
I'm
Anime.
like a kid at heart, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I like a little bit of anime. Like I only like my main one was be like My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah.
It's like it has like just a deeper theme, bro.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Like it's like about a kid who does in a world where superpowers are normal.
Yeah.
It's like he's the outcast because he doesn't have any. So it's just pretty stuff like that. I like just rewatching classics like Goodfellas. I like like Blood In, Blood Out. Have you seen Blood In?
Yeah. I'm old school. Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. That movie's lit. You know, I like a lot of comedies, bro. Just watching a lot of comedies too, like Rush Hour. I like trying to think, bro, but like just stuff like that, dude. Action comedies, things like that.
Yeah, I've been. We just caught up. Did a marathon on Cobra Kai. Have you seen Cobra Kai yet?
Never seen it.
Did you ever see Karate Kid back in the day?
I've seen the one with Jaden Smith. That's his name.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
I've seen the newer one. I've never seen the original.
The original one is kind of like if you're in the '80s kind of thing, Die Hard, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the Karate Kid's cool, but the Karate Kid show at first I'm like, bitch, I ain't watching that. And then I watch episodes like, dude, this is written so fucking good. And then if you like YouTube, Johnny LaRusso or Daniel LaRusso's The Bully, like on YouTube, they go through like the whole story of Karate Kid, but they show it wasn't the blonde hair kid was a bully. It was actually Daniel LaRusso's a bully. And they show you that, and then you watch the fucking show. It's like, this is so good. Like, man, we just finished I think season 4 today, you know, and they're gonna come out with season 5. The storyline is written so well. Everything is so great on it. I mean, perfect. And especially if you like old kung fu movies. And then I realized today too, you haven't seen it, but like it's based on like politics. I mean, you haven't seen the whole thing, so I want to go break it down to it. But like when I started watching, I was like, oh man, they made one person this Democrat, and they made this guy Republican. That's Donald Trump. That's Gavin Newsom. Like they have little people you start picking apart. Like, oh, dude, I can see what they did here. It all makes sense. You know,
that's lit. It reminds me talking about that. I like Game of Thrones, bro. But have you ever left something like watching it and you're like, this is terrible, and then come back and like give it a second chance? You're like, you know what, this is actually watchable, dude.
Oh yeah. I think Archer. You watch Archer?
That's the voice from Bob's Burgers, right? Yeah, that guy.
At first, I was like, I can't watch it, and then after like watching like 2-3 episodes, one of my favorite things ever, dude. Archer is so funny. You know, it's great. The first episode they put out is like Archer is the character is a velociraptor, so he's not even a real person. And so they do the whole show, but instead of like being a real person, he's like a fucking velociraptor. It doesn't even make so stupid. It doesn't even make sense. And then they do it again, but with actual Archer.
That's lit.
And so you're like, what the fuck? But then after watching, or have you seen Happy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude, that's a fucking crazy Netflix show. It's about this cop who's hard on luck, and then he has his daughter. He doesn't know he has his daughter, and she gets kidnapped, and she has a an invisible friend. And am I recording? Oh yeah, she has an invisible friend, and she gets kidnapped. Tells the invisible friend, who's Patton Oswalt, who's a cartoon character, go to my dad, and my dad will save me. She knows about the dad. The dad doesn't know about her. So you watch the first episode, like, it's fucking cartoon character. I'm not watching this shit. And then after like second episode, it's one of the craziest. Like if you like crazy Game of Thrones kind of storyline, Happy will blow your mind.
All right, that sounds lit.
And it's only like 3 seasons right now, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's a guy from Special Victims Unit, like the male white cop, like half bald. He's like the main character in the thing. It's crazy. It goes like it's almost like Epstein style too. At the end, like kidnapping kids and shit like that. It's wild.
You know, one thing about watching shows is that some of the most plain shows, like bland shows, are my favorite. Like King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it, just about a regular guy, who works his 40 and it's just so, I don't know, just grabs my attention.
Yeah. Well, when I grew up, Married with Children, Al Bundy, he was a shoe salesman. Period. That was it. He's a shoe salesman. He came home. He had a wife and kid, and he watched TV. That was the whole storyline. You know what I mean? Like they didn't. That was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was like, yeah, fucking, I'm watching I don't know if you watched Married with Children, but it was written fucking well too. It's fucking great. When I grew up, My parents, I always say I wasn't poor, I was broke. That means we had shit, but not any good shit. And we never had like new carpet or new couches, but my parents always had weed, you know, so that's called broke, you know. But like the family married with children, they were like us. They were broke like us. So I enjoyed that show.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I grew up like that too, in a way. But we always, one thing is that we never really had cable, so I grew up watching a lot of George Lopez, the show.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that, and then going into like The Simpsons, and on Saturdays, you know, you like a lot of like kids cartoons, bro.
Yeah.
Like whatever was free on TV because we didn't have cable.
The only chance to watch it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
So it was different when I grew up. I remember when cable came in. I don't know if they just gave everybody cable. Like I remember they dug the street up, and you know it was asphalt, and then there's like a little small trench, and we're all BMX. It was a BMX time. The movie Rad came out, so we were all riding bikes, right? So we're bunny hopping over it, and then we all had 32 channels in a cable box with this little tan box, and you turned it, and you had, you know, 32 channels, and MTV came on. So, but at that time there was no cable or Cartoon Network, and there were no cartoons really. So same thing. We only get to watch cartoons that one. You come up from school, cartoons were on from 3 o'clock to 4:30. It was like Scooby Doo, He-Man, and something like that. And then Saturdays, that was it. There was no Cartoon Network, you know.
you know, and then you got to find something else to do outside of that. You know, you got to go out and hang out, like, you know, when it's not going on. I used to hate like coming home and then like the World Series would be on, so I have like this secret hate of baseball because I'm like, dude, you're killing the Simpsons, bro. Like, you know, it's not, like, bro, the Simpsons would be on if you weren't on.
Yeah.
Or NASCAR is like, oh, dude, like.
And I don't even know Pittsburgh fucking Pirates. I don't give a fuck if they win, you know?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this sucks.
See, I grew up watching a lot of Wapner and Love Connection because, you know, granted we had cable, but we only had one TV. It was, you know, it was back in the day. You had one big ass box and it's in the corner, right? So I'm watching what Dad wants to watch.
Yeah.
It's fucking People's Court and Love Connection, you know. And then, you know, I learned later when I got my sister was 7 years older than I was, and she got in a lot of trouble. So by the time it came to me, my parents were like, you know, do what you want to do. Peace out, homie. But then I would come home super late, like, you know, midnight or whatever it was. And if my dad or 11:30, my dad would be still up. I knew the trick was he's stoned. I know he's drinking a couple beers. Talk about the game. So my dad's from the Bay, so Warriors or Niner, whatever happened. You're like, oh man, you see the Warrior game? Oh yeah, it was pretty good. I can't believe he shot that many shots. Fucking Baron Davis. Yeah, it was amazing. Okay, peace out, homie. Bye, go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, who was that? Fucking hey, you know.
I used to ditch school, right? And then like talking about that reminds me, like, my thing would be, you know, during the daytime, like there really is nothing good on TV. You know what I mean? Especially if you got local channels and there's no cable.
Soap operas
or Maury. That was my thing.
Yeah.
Maury and Cheaters, bro.
Oh fuck.
Cheaters,
yeah,
lit, dude. Just watching people cheat on each other.
Affected my life forever.
Yeah, I almost burned my house down, bro, watching Maury.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How's that?
So, like, dude, I learned how to cook for myself at a later age. Like at 12, my mom was like, you got to cook for yourself, man. You got to learn.
Yeah.
So she taught me how to cook chorizo and eggs. So I was afraid of the oil boiling, you know, it starts to pop.
Yeah.
So I had this long sleeve on, bro. Like, I didn't even put it on. I literally just draped it over my arms so I won't get burned.
Yeah.
And we have a wall, right? And then around the wall is where our living room is at. So, like, put it like this, bro. I was cooking, and I'm like, here, like, and now we're back, you know, with the results. And then I try to peek over, bro, but I guess that I had draped the sleeve onto the iron.
Yeah.
And I'm right there watching, dude. I'm like watching like the show. I smell something burning. I'm like, oh, something's burning. I come and I see the shirt on fire.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. I am in the kitchen. My sink is to my left. I ran back to the living room to Maury, stared at the TV and said, what am I doing? Like, Maury ain't going to tell me, help me. You're going to put this fire out. So I run back to the kitchen. I'm like, dude, I almost burned my house down to watch whose baby daddy this is.
Anthony, you are on fire.
Yeah, something crazy like that, bro. It's like, dude, like, just stuff like that. Like, I was like, you know, like watching like Cyber Chase and Arthur at like 14 to 15 still, because like no cable, dude.
Yeah.
Like Teletubbies. I'm sitting there just with a bowl of cereal.
That's how I got into Star Trek. When I moved out when I was 17, I graduated when I was 17. You know, I started school a little younger, so when I moved out as soon as I possibly could, and I couldn't afford cable. You know, I had a TV, and actually I had two TVs because the one TV didn't have a good picture, and the other one had great sound, right? So I had two TVs, one stacked on top of the other one, and the only thing that's on is fucking KMPH is fucking Star Trek. So I'm watching Captain Picard. I'm like, yeah, man, this is fucking great. And they go in this room and fucking Data comes out and shit, you know?
Yeah.
It was the only thing on. What else are you going to watch?
Yeah, that's true. I've never really got into Star Trek, but dude, it was always like a trip to come home and stone and act like you're not stoned. For me, because like my parents are so like traditional.
Oh, yeah.
So like smoking weed is just a new concept to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like weird because like there's be times where I'm like stoned out of my mind. Like I got a cannabis card and then like I was at home and my mom was there and then like what happened was that I was like went to the store, right? I'm like, oh, I want to smoke flowers. So I'm like, I bought this edible drink, bro. It was like a vitamin water. Like, what's the 50-cent water called? The vitamin waters?
Yeah.
Bro, it was like that. Literally looked the same thing, almost the exact same thing. And I took it. It said, drink half the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, give it 30 minutes, see how you feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I hit this. I've been smoking weed so long. I'm like, dude, I have a high tolerance. Hit half. I'm like, all right, dude, it's been like 5 minutes. What's going on?
Enough.
Yep. And I poured down the second half, dude. And that's when like 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, dude, the room started spinning. I'm like, dude,
You became a meme.
Yeah.
It's like every meme is when somebody's like, you know, watching, you know, the dryer. It says, when you think the edibles aren't kicking in yet.
Exactly, bro. That happened to me. And then I just hear it from the living room, like, Antonio. I'm like, oh, dude, I cannot stand up. I felt like drunk, just putting my arms around, just like, dude, how can I stand up straight? I open the door, like, I'm going to sleep. I'm faded. Like,
so I grew up, my parents smoked weed openly, you know, since I was a kid. And even like back in the day, on the couch, I'm like 2, they're like, hey, pass this to Daryl, you know, and fucking, you know. So, and like their buddy they buy weed from, you know, my mom would work and my dad had to go get weed. So he has to take his 6-year-old son with him. So we're going to the, you know, Hell's Angel house. We're hanging out there for a couple hours. I mean, so, but when I got older, I was always really into sports and, you know, athletics. I was working out constantly. I thought I was going to become a professional baseball player. When I started playing hockey, I'm like, oh, I'm playing hockey. And I started snowboarding. I'm like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is like, dude, that's easy. I mean, and so I always thought I'd do that. And then, you know, eventually I started smoking weed. And then, but my parents didn't know about it. But not like, it's not like you can smoke with your parents. Like, hey, Dad, let's just smoke weed. You know what I mean? Like, no, Dad, still, you're going to keep secrets from your parents. They want you to be kids no matter what. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it was at a point, though, where I realized I started actually getting weed from my parents, because back in the day, there was only stress. You buy the Mexican stress, it was all smashed up, and you break it out like fucking BBs pop out, you know, like, oh, there is weed in here, you know? And then, but during the Clinton days, he locked the border up. People don't understand, like Democrats, Republic. Ronald Reagan ran on amnesty when he ran for politics. You know what I mean? He's like, all the Mexicans here, we need them. Let's make them fucking American citizens, and then let's have some kind of border policy. And then Bill Clinton got there. He's like, fuck that, close the border up. So people who are going, it used to be a turnstile. So people come back and forth, but now you can't come back and forth. So you stay because you can't get back, or you have to smuggle to get back over here. And then it created like millions and millions and millions more Hispanics who stayed here. They want to go home. They don't want to stay here. You know what I mean? They just wanted to work. Because we subsidize their farming, and because we subsidize their farming, their farm goes out of business, so that everybody has to come here for work. You know, so I got deep into that. You know,
yeah, that's something new, man. Something that I did not know. But talking about that too, man. It just made me think about the like the stress, bro. I was born in '96, so I'm about to be 26 in 2 weeks.
Oh man,
so
yeah.
I kind of grew up in that time where things were like developing. I kind of saw like the development of like the weed.
Yeah.
So, like, my sister used to, like, buy weed in that brown paper bag with, like, stress.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's crazy because then weed turned into, like, I guess, like, brands. Because I remember no matter what you bought was always either fire, kill, or train wreck.
It had to be something.
It's just like, you know, it just had literally, like, what is this? Oh, it's some fire. It's some kill. That's it.
Name was important.
You know what I mean? And it was crazy, dude. One time we bought, we were, like, 14. We bought weed off of some girl's uncle. And he didn't have no plastic bags. Like, he folded up a little notebook paper into like a little envelope.
Yeah.
Like we literally like just popped up one thing open and it was just weed in there.
Fuck, dude. I'm so glad my kids aren't allowed to do any of that stuff. You know what I mean? And they're not going to do it. They're way different than I am. But the situation you had to go to get it back in the day, I mean, I've gotten shoe boxes. My buddy had like this piece of paper, he didn't even fold it up. He's like, here it is, just fucking crumbled up. Here's some weed. You know what I mean? Here's $100 worth of 4 ounces, a quarter pound of weed for $100. You know what I mean? That's what it used to be. But then as my parents couldn't get it because Bill Clinton locked the border up, now it's harder to get that stuff. Now they're putting in gas tanks, so I started smelling like diesel, and I think started counting gas can weed because it was smashed in gas cans, you know? That's when the good buds started coming out. And everybody started doing homegrown. Everybody started getting strains, strawberry coughs. A guy, if you look, there's a YouTube channel. It's about, I think it's called Strain Chasers or something like that. And it just tells a story about all the strains and how they got to where they got to. Like the guys from Cookies and the guys from Sherbinsky's and the guy from Strawberry Cough and all these. They talk about how it developed in America. But like as that started coming up, I started helping my parents get stuff. And then once you go from a gas can weed to, basically like this came from another planet, you're like, oh, I'm never going back. It's not even the same planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then so like my dad would give my mom money to give to me to get it for them. Now I'm like, 18, 19, 20, something like that. I think I was like 19. And then that's how they, get their bomb, right? But we're going on a family trip. My dad's never smoked with me. My mom doesn't give a fuck. She's like, you got weed? Hell yeah, light it up, My dad's like, you're not responsible enough. I always say that. You're not responsible enough to smoke weed. I'm like, I got a job. He's like, you fucking got to take care of, you got to be more responsible in your life. You shouldn't be smoking weed. But we're going on a family trip. And I know growing up, when you go on a family trip, first thing my dad does, he's got a roadie and smoking a joint, right? But he ain't got no weed. I got weed. So I prepare it. So I roll a fucking joint up, right? Bomb ass fucking green. Get in the car. Hit on fucking 99 or 41, wherever the hell we're going, in the fucking back seat. Light that joint up, and my dad gives me like a little fucking side eye, looks at me, and fucking pass it forward, and he grabs it, and he's like, you're not responsible enough to be fucking smoking this fucking weed. And I said, look, I'm the only one with weed and a lighter. I'm the most responsible person in this car. Hit the fucking joint and shut the fuck up, And then from that point on, he's like, fuck this fucking kid. But he never been like 100% like on board with it. But now my parents are straight hypes. So like as soon as Clovis got their first fucking co-ops like 20 years ago, Buds for Life, whatever it is, they sponsored my soccer team back in the day. But my parents been going there for day one. They took them skydiving. So like you go to those events, you see my mom. She looks like a grandma, and she's fucking dabbing. She's like 5 foot tall. Big old dabs. I'll take 2 of those. It's like crazy. And edibles, I don't fuck with edibles.
Yeah,
because your body breaks down the edible different. You know what I mean? Like different than smoking. And then like if you eat it, there's something about the THC. And then like I said, it's there. And then I think I'm dying slowly.
Yeah, yeah. Because one time we with my friend too, like talking about that, like edibles are a different breed. We it was like back then for that Prop 215. When that was like the only way to get weed. Legally, so
got the card with the sticker.
Yeah, but we bought it off of Craigslist.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. That's how we were getting. That's how we got our edibles, dude.
Risky.
Like, and like it was like just some random dude. Like you could tell he had no legal business selling weed.
Yeah,
bought these brownies, dude. Well, again, they're not like there's no packaging label, so we don't know how strong these things are, dude. You know how it is. Like you're just buying these things, man. Like we would buy like a batch of 6, dude, and it put us on another planet.
Yeah.
30 minutes in, dude, my friend turns around because we're watching TV. He's like, man, you bought these weak ass edibles. They ripped you off, 30 minutes in, the dude turns around. He's like, bro, I'm fucked up. And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to get home, dude. I drove here.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you can stay here, dude. Like, don't trip. But he was like, how strong are these things? I don't know, but let's go another one deep.
Yeah. And so Joey Diaz talks about how much he eats. Rogan talks about a joke. He says he gets a gummy bear. He says, how much of this gummy bear should I eat? They're all just the leg.
Damn.
Just the leg. Fuck, It's scary how much, just a little bit is too much.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, have you ever been like gotten stoned at a concert or like gotten, smoked weed before a concert?
Yeah. Yeah. Every concert. Beep. I'll bleep that out.
Every concert.
Every concert.
You know who Burner is?
Oh yeah, no, dude. I work in a bay, so
okay,
as the legalization came up, so Cookies was connected with Connected, the brand, and then you used to go there. Everything was in tubs. I don't know if you know that back in the day.
No, they're not.
So everything was like in tubs. Like you go, like the stainless steel containers, and they have a lid. Yeah. So everything was in stainless steel containers, and they have a fucking list, right? And they would say, what you want, fucking guava, Gushers, cookies, Burners, cookies. It was only their brand stuff, right? And then they'd open the fucking thing up, and you see the buds, and they would just not hand it, but they would have tweezers, and they would weigh it out and give you it right then. And then they had the little budlets, because the big buds like that's what people want to pay. But that one, the budlets, and they would sell 8s for like $20 of all the bomb ass shit in a collective corner. And then they changed the law where everything had to be packaged. So they took everything out of those tubs, and everything had to be packaged, and that's when Burner separated from Connected. And then Cookies became full, straight out Cookies brand. I was just in Vegas, man, not too long ago. The Cookies brand, and he opened one in London last week. He's killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it. I would love to travel overseas and smoke weed. I have a dream of going to Amsterdam, so
that'd be awesome.
I'm hoping I'm planning that soon.
Yeah, I don't know how their stuff is. People still, even like Rogan right now, he still uses California weed. That's what he smokes. So he's, cause I don't know how he does it. You can't take weed across state lines.
Nah.
So when he said I'm smoking LA weed or taking mushrooms, where do you get it? Because that's against fucking all Texas laws. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get
so
fucked.
that's what I keep trying to say about Rogan. He's a paid person for Texas. Well, we do that. The commercials come to California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they show all our celebrities on the beach or sports, whatever it is. We pay those people. And then Texas pays Rogan. Do what the fuck you want. We're not going to go arrest you for smoking weed. And, and like the NRA, he's like, I got 13 free guns. Well, yeah. Who gives you guns? Well, the NRA does. And keep talking positive about us.
Yeah, that's real, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, fucking Burner, man, he came to town not too long ago, too. See that?
Yeah, I didn't go, but it was with E40.
Yeah, I was hitting him up. I'm like, please come play my show. Have you tried Gary Payton?
Actually, I did recently. Yeah, I got some.
One of my faves.
Fire.
So the thing is, like, crap thing, like here in town, there are stores or places, I think there's like real stores now. I haven't been to them, but like there's places where you can get stuff and they have it in containers, like the vape pens, all that shit's fake.
Yeah.
I mean? Like you said, even you get the real ones, it's going to cost you $60, $70 for a gram. What are you buying $10 for? Like, how'd you get a $10 one in a package? Like, where do they come from? Where does the mark, like, so I know that those are fake. And then we're saying the stores, they package the product and they have them in the Gary packet, and like they have a blunt. It's like Gary Payton. Like, no, it ain't.
Yeah.
I know it ain't, because like Colorado and these places, they see the sale. So when something gets planted, the government has tracked it. So when it gets sold, the government tracks it. So it's not like shit's just not going out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know there's some gray markets. Like we had a guy on here before, and he talked about black and white and gray markets, and he is a legal grower. But like, still they make so much product, they can't sell it all to the stores because the stores have so many brands.
Yeah, dude. And stores are very regulated too.
Yeah.
They're so paranoid. Like one time I was like, dude, I'm from out of town. I was in Sacramento. I was like, dude, just let me take like 4 ounces, bro. And they're like, we can't sell you 4 ounces. We don't have like, they got it, but they're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were like so on edge. I'm like, I'm a regular dude, like, you know what I mean? And it's so crazy how like they're in fear, like themselves, like so paranoid.
Everything is accounted for and regulated. It's crazy.
Yeah,
People understand. You're from Fresno?
Yeah, born and raised.
You have you gone to any stores in town?
Let's just say like stores that like were not regulated.
Yeah. There's a store that was supposed to be in town that recently got shut down. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
There was a store and it was in a Tower District area, and I heard that somebody got stabbed or something near it by there or something. And then they wouldn't. I haven't been to it, since I heard the store got shut down. But I heard they finally shut it down.
Damn.
And it was like a legit store, except that they had stuff packages, but they just had stuff in tubs. What do you want? A couple grams and blah blah blah. They try to be a legit store, but it was straight, bodega, back roads.
That's crazy. I did not know that. I know that they recently started granting licenses for storefronts here in town. Like I kept up with that news.
Yeah.
And like back then, like Fresno had that ordinance where there is no storefronts allowed in the city.
So stupid.
You know what I mean? So that it was only delivery. That's the only way you can get.
And you can't deliver to Clovis.
Really? I didn't know that.
Shoot yourself. I mean, the whole town shoot yourself in the foot.
Dang.
I know, it's crazy. Like I said, my parents been doing the co-op stuff for like 20 years. They had a place over on Clovis Avenue. It was called Buds for Life. And it's like if you go down Clovis Avenue past Ashland, you keep going south, There's like a couple used car dealerships before you get to the golf station. It was like all those buildings. It started off with one room, and then it just got so popular, it had shitload of buildings. And they were like, hey, we can't, at the time, you couldn't put money in a bank, right? And you couldn't make money off it. They all had to be a nonprofit, so you couldn't pay anybody. So they had shitloads of money. So they started giving it away. So they gave some to the sheriff's department, like 60 grand. The sheriff's department said, we can't accept your money. They gave it back. And then when the sheriff's department finally busted them, they're like, look, you have 60 grand here. Like, no, the money we're trying to give you, it's all in ones. And then actually what they did is first they gave them 30 grand. They said, we can't take your money. They said, okay, how about this? Everybody who buys from us, we're going to have them donate. It's not from us. It's from people. So then they gave them 60 grand. It was their 30 and they matched them. And then they came in, they busted with 60 grand. That was all their money. It was like Pavarello House. They had the largest delivery of blankets and food that they've ever received in the history of Pavarello House. They said, we can't accept it because you're from a co-op. What? So they told them, I'll go fucking. So they're like, oh, fuck. Well, it doesn't stop us from come getting the shit out of the back of our van. Come get the shit. Yeah. You know? So they've had that shoot yourself in the foot mentality forever. I hear the rumors are we're supposed to get Six Flags Vallejo in Fresno. Like we're on the border of purchasing it in the next month or so. We're going to know if we have Six Flags. Now is going to be the one that's in Vallejo. We're going to move it and have it in Fresno.
Yeah.
By the fucking stadium.
Fresno State?
No.
Grizzly Stadium?
The baseball stadium.
Oh, damn.
I know one wants to go down there.
Man, that's crazy.
It's going to take generations of these people to want to go down there. And then when you're trying to build this beautiful town, this beautiful area, and then you tell people from out of town, hey, come visit us to this place that really doesn't exemplify, what we are, you have to get them to love our town.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's just, I mean, so many different, I drive down the street, I'm like, that'd be a perfect place. Or right there, right? Clovis should step up, man. If Clovis, we have the 168 and lots of fucking land out there. Put it right there. A fucking amusement park out there, like between Clovis and Sanger, looking at the mountains. Sold, right? I'm aboard that. Yeah. But we're gonna do something stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had seen like news articles about that, about them planning stuff like that too. But I don't even think they can't get stuff together here in town. Like you saw that the soccer team is no longer here. They just up and left.
Did they leave?
Yeah, they up and left, and with an outstanding balance, they couldn't get an agreement.
Yeah,
because I guess that they had made arrangements with the city to purchase a plot of land and build an actual soccer stadium for soccer. Not share the Grizzly Stadium.
Yeah.
So they ended up just picking up and leaving, dudes, like because they could not get an agreement. They wanted to turn. They were like offering them places. They were like, dude, this is not our location for us. We're not building one here. Yeah. They couldn't get like what they wanted, so they just up and left.
It happens all the time. Trump came back in Running Horse. It's over there by the stadium. Also, it's a PGA golf course. So like in 2007 or whatever, they were building this PGA style golf course out on Southwest Fresno, but the housing market crashed. So they didn't finish any of the golf course, and there's like 6 houses out there. Trump came in like 2009, 2011 and said, hey, I'll buy the whole thing. I'll buy all the houses around it, but I need you guys to do some utilities and infrastructure to prepare for me. There's like a little airport over there, Sky Airport or something like that. I'll fix the airport up so I can fly my fucking G6s in and everything, but I need you guys to invest too. I said, look, we can't spend the money on you. We're not doing that shit. So the news article on the Fresno Bee says he hung up on us and we said, hello, and he never called back again. And then like it's funny because then 10 years later we're like Trump. Like, come on, town, relax. You ain't Trump. Like he was here. You guys could have spoke up at any time and say, look, we want this guy to come do business here. But we just NASCAR. We have boats and there's a Whipple supercharged. A lot of like racing stuff here. NASCAR wanted to build a track here. They said it's too loud, right? Yeah. Woodard Park. They have bands out there, and then they have MMA. Well, we don't want that crowd out there. They're trying to shut that shit down.
Yeah, they did that to the concert, right? They were complaining about that burning concert that they had at the amphitheater. Yeah. Yeah, about the weed smoke, and people were like, oh, we don't want that. They did that to Grizzly Fest too, right? I know they no longer do that, right? This is a shoot yourself in the foot town. I mean, even like I talk about Clovis here, like this Old Town Clovis, this is an awesome area. Yeah. So like if you go to Cambria, these other places, or like, oh, there's money to be made here. Why don't you do something to make the money here? You know what I mean? So like, I don't understand. Like, does the antique business really that big?
You know what I mean? Antique, and then two shops, you know? So, I don't know. I think they should be doing a little bit more.
I need to go antiquing.
Oh, yeah?
Have you ever heard, like, there was, like, somebody that found at a thrift store, I think, in, I believe it's Tower District, but if you Google it, you'll find that somebody found, like, a vintage photo of, like, some type of cowboy,
Oh, yeah?
and it was worth, like, anywhere from, like, upwards, like, 6 figures to 7 figures.
Let's see here.
Like, that's crazy, because who would have known that it was a picture of a guy was found here worth, like, 7 figures.
Yeah, I know that the, Craigslist. I know that there's a guy, Ansel Adams.
Yeah.
You know, he's from the area. He took a lot of pictures, and then I guess people have found a lot of his photos. There's like a lawsuit about it. I guess somebody bought like 135 of the photos. I guess he didn't put out at a yard sale, and then he was going to sell them. But I guess they're trying to say like, no, one, they're not real, or two, we don't want those photos out there. He's like, no, I asked out. I bought them, selling. I'm making millions. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And it was a big lawsuit they had. Yeah, it's great. Hey, I'm into all that shit. Like somehow there's gonna be a win, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I watch what's that one? Black Oak Island. They're like digging. They think there's money down there. There's never gonna find money, but you know, it's like lotto. Talking about my wife about the lotto the other day. For fun, I'm like, check this out, babe. I went like the past like 20 lottos, and it says like all the numbers that's won. And then you can get online and look up like the top international most common numbers, triplets, pairs, numbers in a row. What comes up, and then start getting your list of numbers. Like, okay, here's 4 picks. these 4 lines. These are guaranteed. And the next week comes out, get none of those numbers.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Man, I would love to play lotto, win a couple $100 million, and just be done with it.
Yeah.
you know.
And see, the problem is, I think we all hope for like some kind of big win. You know, like I was just in Vegas. I just came back, and then I like roulette. My wife liked playing roulette. Yeah. So we were playing roulette, and then one time she won like $450, and she's like, "What you do?" I'm like, "Cash out, just cash the fuck out, and then come back with $100, start again." You know what I mean? But I'll get like $200, and I'm like, I should just cash out and come back, but I don't. I keep playing, and the wife looks over and it's like, "You got $10." I'm like, "I know, it's gonna hit green this time," and then it's like red for 30 times straight. It's the odds how's that even fucking possible?
I feel like I want to, even though I know I'm there to lose, because you almost always never win.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I go there and I do slots just because I like the cartoons or like the movies they're based on, the theme.
Oh, yeah.
So I play like the slots, and then one time, I'm a truck driver, so one time I was like, whatever that, right by the state line, there's like a hotel, casino right at the state line.
Yeah, Terribles. Oh, yeah.
Terribles. It was actually Terribles, actually.
Yeah.
I went there and spent like I'm supposed to be on break for 10 hours and spent all night at the machine. And I literally had like $10 left. And I saw that Big Bang Theory machine. Like, it's like just 3 slots, like just 3 lines.
Yeah.
And you just got to try to match or whatever. Dude, I went in there with my last $10. I was like, I got like 2 hours and I got to drive another 10, 11 hours right now. I started playing, dude. I hit for like $1,000.
Oh, man.
And then I'm like, I'm lucky. It's my night. Dude, I spent like half of that money in that casino and ended up like calling my dispatcher like, "Yo, bro, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I've been up all night." Like, he's like, "I could tell, bro. I know, I can see your GPS where you're at. You're at the casino."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Go ahead and get like 4 hours of sleep, dude, and, feel better. Just get back at it." I was like, dude, like,
They got me.
Yeah, they got me.
Yeah. Do you use a Caesar reward card?
Nah.
Hold on a sec. This is for a Caesar reward card. We're not a sponsor, but like, dude, I tell everybody, get the Caesar reward card. So that's why I went to Vegas. It was free. The card's free. You're going to go gamble. Caesar owns like half of Las Vegas. The Lynx, the Harrah's, Caesars, Planet Hollywood. It's all Caesar rewards. So the card is just like a Vons card. It's nothing. It's not, and this is just tracks that you're just buying shit, and then they give you free rooms. So my rooms were comped this weekend, and then if you want to go to a show or you want to go to like Hell's Kitchen, you go to their concierge wherever you're at, and they'll get you in, even though like it's like a 4-week wait. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're a rewards member," So get the fucking card and get free rooms.
Yeah, it surprises people, man. I've never been to Vegas,
Oh,
but I've been like
close.
I've driven through there and I've like parked there overnight.
Yeah.
Like, on the way to other places. but I've never visited the city, man. So I definitely need to take one out there. But
Yeah.
you know, because I hear it's fun. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Has everything you want, right? Ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you ready food and drinks, right? Didn't any kind of drink. Doesn't have to be alcohol, but like from any kind of juice, anything, any kind of food from Chinese to In-N-Out pizza, right?
yeah,
Comedy. I mean, I go there. I've seen a comedy show almost every time I've gone there, you know, and it's just entertainment. You know?
yeah. I'm sold. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
fuck,
head out
and
that
then
way, dude.
it's so like they're really smart with it. You don't even have to leave. You can stay in one casino and do all that. Not even have to leave that one casino. But then they built like this. There used to be an old Fremont Street where people would walk the street and they have the fucking lights and stuff. They still have that, but then they built a new one kind of in the middle of the new Vegas. And it's this beautiful street. They got fucking people on the zip lines and then the carousel thing and the In-N-Out, the pizzas. Everything's right there. You know. I said I went one week and I saw Rogan and Chappelle. I saw the sign on the wall. I'm like, oh, babe, no wonder we're free this weekend. Rogan and Chappelle is next weekend. And then I went home. My wife bought Rogan and Chappelle tickets. So we went to see Rogan and Chappelle. Free room again. But,
Dope.
dude, what's that guy? Man, I've seen so many people up there comedy-wise. I can't even think of them. There's even this comedy magic guy. Lost words. Amazing Jonathan. He's retired now. But they all go through there, you know? So if you want to see Norm Macdonald, he's going to play Vegas eventually. George Lopez, he's in Vegas.
Yeah,
You know, so they're all there. You can see 2 or 3 shows in one spot.
damn, that sounds good.
Fuck yeah. AC's running. Like, if I got my AC on, you feel it now. It's hot
Yeah.
for a little bit there, huh?
Yeah, it's a little warm.
Yeah. It's fucking son of a bitch. Let's see here. Well, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to have you here, Anthony.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
First podcast.
Yeah, I'm seeing if I can see what I have a time up there somewhere. I don't know how long I've been here for. There it is. I bet an hour. Seemed longer than that, huh?
Yeah, it felt like.
Fucking covered a bunch of subjects and didn't cover nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
just went off, man.
that's what it's
Cool.
about. Well, Anthony, I appreciate you being here. You know,
Yeah, thank you for having
you
me.
know, this is Lying in the Truth. You can check out Anthony. What are you gonna be doing? You gonna do some open mics here coming up?
Yeah, I'll be doing open mics. I've attended all of them. Like, Fresno Comedy Scene. We'll post all of them.
Oh, you hit them all up.
Yeah, I hit
Good.
them all.
That's
Try
what you
to
need to
get
do.
all the stage time I can. You
Yeah.
know, I'm 3 months in,
That's what you need to do.
so I'm just working on experience.
That's my fault is I have like always make excuses why I'm not doing him. You know what I mean? With the Bakersfield one, I want to go to the South Valley, hit a couple of Bakersfield or Visalia, somewhere where Trent's at, you know, because he's been hosting and putting a lot on,
Yeah.
putting a lot of shit on. You know, you see all the people there. Barmageddon, have you heard that one?
Yeah, I just went there on this Sunday.
Yeah, it was
Past.
nice, huh?
It's nice, man. It's like a little basement. It's a little like a man cave in a way.
Yeah,
They have like a video game system in there, like all over the place. You know, you do your open mic. They have their bar.
yeah.
It's dope. It's really good.
Hell yeah. That's what you need to do. I always say the key to being successful, the difference between you and any other comic that you see on TV is doing it.
Yeah.
Because the reason why they're successful is because they're doing it. And if you watch these comics a lot of time, they weren't funny always from the beginning. They've been working on doing it. You know, and now you see Norm Macdonald's fucking,
Yeah.
or not Norm Macdonald, but what's his name? We just talked about him. Norman,
Yeah.
Mark Norman.
Mike Norman.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and one thing too is, you know, you got to go to the places you don't feel like going to.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just sometimes you're just in places where like people aren't typically there for comedy. Like, they'll have like an open mic at a bar, and like people are focused on themselves, dude. And you're just there up there just trying to work. And or like we go to a Mexican restaurant on Mondays.
Oh yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, that one is because it's you know, people are there to eat. They just happen to walk in and there's an open mic.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like you're there and you're like trying to grab their attention.
Yeah.
And I'm bilingual, so I speak Spanish and
Oh, yeah.
English. So I'll be up there and like I'm like the only comic that's bilingual. So I'll be up there telling my jokes in English and then I switch it up into Spanish. And it's just like my Spanish is good, like I can speak it, but translating is so difficult. You know what I mean? So
to English.
to Spanish.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
From English to Spanish.
yeah, yeah.
And like we talk heavy, dude. Like we'll be cussing or like just the references we're making and the jokes. Like I would be up there translating, and then you just see like the couples, like, you know, who are like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because they don't understand what he's saying. They just understand what you're saying.
yeah. So I'm right there next to the comic. He's his name is Barry, and he has jokes like whatever, like, and translating them, dude. They're looking at me like that's heavy talk while we're trying to eat. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, in Spanish, I'm just up there like, man, if my mom or dad were here, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is heavy because my parents, my mom, I told her I'm doing stand up, and she references these, they're like sitcom actors. Like, oh, why don't you do it like this dude, like on Cantinflas or like, I forgot the name of some other dude, but I'm like, I can't take anybody's material, and on top of that, like, it's so different to try to do like that type of stand up.
You gotta be authentic.
Yeah,
He'll read it.
and so like it's just so crazy because like when I do stuff in Spanish, it's like hit or miss. Sometimes people get it and they like it, and sometimes it's like people are just staring at me like, "What am I saying?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been meaning to get there. Ethan, he always posts.
Yeah,
You know, he posts from everywhere he's at. He's been busting his ass too.
yeah,
You know,
Ethan's great.
And I see the same group of people. You know, I go to the Labyrinth and, you know, see the Chicos, and they'll be at the Palace, and then I see them at what's the Mexican restaurant called?
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca's.
Yeah, Oaxaca's on Mondays.
Yeah.
And that one is great. I like it because you just go to these places and you just gotta learn. Like, I'm like, it's so difficult because it's like, they're there to eat. I'm up there telling jokes,
Yeah.
and sometimes they really don't bat an eye. Sometimes you get them, and you know what I mean. You go up there and just do what you can. You know what I mean.
You should really watch that show. Like I was telling you about, I'm Dying Up Here. It's only 2 seasons. You know, it's about stand up, but that's probably one thing the guy does. He says like, "Hey, I'm gonna do stand up open mic at this deli." He's like, "I ain't doing that at a fucking deli." He's like, "No, you gotta do it wherever." And then the guy takes him to like an AA meeting. He's like, "What am I doing here?" He's like, "You want an audience? Go and do your bits.
Yeah.
You know, go do bits." You know, so went up there and just start ripping. You know, I want to do a couple things. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I just it's like 10 things. I have like ADHD, so I think 10 things all going down at one time. But I want to do comics on the corner. I want to get a comic or two and just go on the corner here and just start riffing. You know what I mean? People have cracking jokes and said, some people can write a cassette, but some people are just funny, you know? So if some people who are funny just come out and then just start riffing in the corner. Or if you got some jokes, you can crack some jokes, but it doesn't have to be, everything has to be, off topic. You know, you can crack jokes with people. Like Mark Norman would do that. He would go to the park and do stand up in the park and just crack jokes. And but I want to do comics on the corner. I got a place here in Clovis that it's a restaurant and bar, and they want to ask me, like I said, to do stuff, but I'm hesitant because one, it's a lot of work. I already got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
But there's another place to do open mics here in town that they're willing to open. But I told them, look, one thing is, it's cussing. And not just cussing, but it's dirty.
Exactly.
But
that's how it is at the restaurant because like it's a family environment, which was like the first time I did the Chicos. I'm like, can I really be myself up here, dude? From what I know, it's a family restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a restaurant. People go there with their families. They're like, but like you do it in a bar area, and it's like at Oaxaca's, it's literally no bar area. It's just a restaurant.
Yeah.
So people are in there with their families. Last week there was a family having a birthday party.
Oh hell yeah!
And we were up there just telling dirty jokes while the dad they're singing happy birthday, and he's a Spanish speaker only. So then I translated him in Spanish. He's like, "Orale, orale." He liked it, but it was like, oh, dude.
How old was the kids?
Who, the dad?
How old was the party?
Oh, dude, he was like 40 something.
Oh,
he had like
yeah.
minors with him.
Oh hell yeah!
He had kids with him, grandchildren, his children. And I'm like, oh, dude, like, this is what we signed up for, man. Like, telling these jokes and then, having the whole family just stare like, what is he talking about, Grandpa? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And comedy's weird because if you do comedy and you're into comedy, it seems like such a normal thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you don't know who Mitch Hedberg is? Like, what do you mean? You don't know who Mitch? How about Sam Kinison? You don't know who Sam Kinison? George Carlin. You haven't seen George? Who are you? But there's it's such a niche, small group of people who actually watch stand up. So when you get those people in there that love it, it's great. But then if you're just going to pick from the random restaurant, you're not going to get them all.
Oh, yeah, dude. And then some people, they're like there and they're on dates and it's just so crazy. Just like everywhere is so different. Like, you know what I mean?
It's awesome for the restaurant to let you guys do it, though.
Oh, yeah. Ben, the owner, he's great.
Yeah.
Like, he actually came up, from what I know, is that he came up to a couple comics like, hey, why don't you guys come do it?
Yeah.
Like we're trying to get as much stage time as we can, you know.
Yeah.
And it helps you work out the nerves, because then you're like, if I can be up here and these people not care when it's time to perform in front of a crowd who's coming to see comedy, then under my kinks, I kind of worked out a little bit.
Yeah.
Feel much better because you're bombing in front of people who don't really care.
Yeah. I think one of the keys, I heard a couple people say this, is like, you want to work on new stuff sometimes, just, you know, sometimes some crowd work, but like really get your 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then build that to 10 and build to 15, because your goal is to do stand up, right? And you want to do stand up for, so, hey, and I want you to open for me. You got a solid 15? Like, oh, yeah, I got it. Someone can, you know, hear it. It has to be said the same shit almost every night. Not exactly, but you got it down, you know? Yeah. So I've heard some of the guys say, you know, like, hey, stop working on new stuff. You know, every time someone's doing you see them doing new shit every time. I don't know what their stand up is. They're doing new shit every time. What is your stand up? You know what I mean? So get it down and hit it out, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things I'm learning as well, because I've always just felt I'm very like I'm very like self-judgmental, I guess you would say. Like I judge myself so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I feel like such a hack coming in here with the same thing every week. Like,
that sucks. I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, but
again, we heard it.
Yeah.
We heard the joke.
And it's like, dude, and I feel like I try my best to try to come up with new stuff, but then it's like it's the learning curves that you learn in this, where like people have spoke to me on the side like, hey, you'll never be a solid 5. You'll never have that if you keep coming in with different stuff, dude. Like, focus right now. Your focus is to get like a solid 3, then go to like 5 or whatever.
Yeah. Artist problem is, I've noticed with music, is sometimes we stray off of who our audience is. Our audience isn't comics. Like when I play music, our audience isn't other bands.
Yeah.
This motherfucker doesn't buy shit. He doesn't watch our shows, you know, and he's not going to be now. Most likely, all the people in our audience to watch our band don't play music. That's why they're watching music. Yeah. Most people in the comedy scene aren't comedians. So when you do your 5 minutes over and over again, your audience should typically be a new audience. But we fuck up because we see the same people over and over again, and we start changing our audience to the comics or the people we see over and over again.
Yeah.
They are not the audience we're doing it for, you know, and we're trying to impress those people with something new, or we feel judged by, we don't want to say the same joke. Like I have a couple of jokes over and over again I say, you know, it's like, oh fuck, I say this joke about mask, and I don't know if I can say it more, but we're back to mask, so it's great, you know. Say, you know, if, hey, we got mask off, it's great seeing people's faces, you know, 8s turn into 6s overnight, huh, fellas? It's crazy, you know. And but if I said it once, you know, okay, but then you heard me 10 times, like, we get it, mask, you know, like, but you're not my audience. You know what I mean? Like, it's the other, you got a little giggle, like, okay, I get it. Yeah. So this person over here that hasn't heard it, they're gonna get it for the first time. You know, it's a build up for them.
Yeah.
Oh, we always fuck up.
Yeah, it's so like hard. It's like because you just try. It's just trying so much, and it's like sometimes you feel like you have to please whoever your audience is, even if it's comics. You try to please them because at that point it's like, you know, that's technically your audience, and it's like, damn, like if I keep like, it's just so like I've always been very judgmental of myself, you know, especially with my writing and everything. I'm like, dude, like especially like. Being creative, you just like, man, it's different. I just started comedy like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast. Was Lee Syatt from Joey Diaz's co-host from the church? And, he was like, dude, if you ever thought about doing something, do it now. So I was like, I've always had that idea of comedy. Like, who doesn't have those ideas of like being a pro athlete, being a stand-up, being a musician?
Do it.
And I was like, you know what? I found like online and Googled it, found an open mic, which was at Full Circle. And I just went, dude. And have you ever had a situation where it's like, for example, like a sign up and then you're like, oh, well, the list is full. And then one day you show up and like, I just had someone drop out. Are you willing to go on stage?
Yeah.
That happened to me on my first mic. And my jokes were just like stories. I had no material at that time. It was just stories about growing up. And I forgot, I had written it down, like prepped it, but like for the past 2 weeks, I just came in and I got comfortable in my shell. Like, yes, I don't have to go up. Like, I don't have to go up.
Yeah.
Then one day it was like, somebody dropped out, bro. You're on.
Yeah.
I showed up and I'm like, I got this. Then I was like, called a friend over, dude. Like it's so like I've never public spoken, never done anything in public, like because sometimes it's like our friends like we don't want to be very vulnerable. Be like, bro,
Yeah.
I want to be a comedian. I want to be a musician. Like a comedian, bro. Like,
You ain't fucking funny.
yeah, and it's like I'm funny to my friends, dude, but can I be funny to strangers?
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, why not try it, bro? Like, you know what I mean? And I hid it from my friends for a while. So one of my friends wanted to come, and he was like, are you at Full Circle? I'm like, no. And I lied to him. I was like, no. Stage fright was getting to me, and I wasn't even on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, no. He's like, wait, you just told me you were.
Yeah.
I didn't show up, bro. I was just lying to you in a text message.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so I'm confused, bro. He called me, are you there or not, bro? Because I'm heading out that way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro, I'm there. So he came. I rehearsed like the material with him because I think he's funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know, between your friends, you just have that dynamic. You like laugh and joke and play.
Especially they understand you. They get you. Yeah.
So when I got there, it was my turn to go on stage, dude. I blanked out my first mic, forgot everything.
Mm-hmm.
Was like running out of breath. My voice was cracking. And it was just like an out-of-body experience.
Yeah. Watching yourself fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting off stage, dude, I had like, it was like euphoria. Like the whole time I'm like, I really did that. I do not want to come back and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, just to say I did it. Because you hear all these people always say like, that's brave. That's brave. I would never. And it's, you know how it is, like your first time too.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I've always been a show off. I've always been like a show off, but like I don't want like accolades. I always say like I want to go get on my bike and do a trick over a big old jump, but no one say, you know, good job, you're amazing. I want everybody to go, ooh, and then me just right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
going on stage and doing this show has always been good, but I still fuck up all the time, and I suffer huge anxiety before I came here. Fucking like, I have imposter syndrome and all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking that's some scary shit. I mean, but
It is.
the key to success is preparedness and opportunity, right? You were prepared, you had an opportunity, but just wasn't, you never had an experience before,
Yeah.
So now you get, through time, you get more experience, and, that's what it takes.
And I just had a DMT trip.
I mean, we talked about that. Yeah. How'd that go?
That was interesting because I've never tried any psychedelics in my life.
Through a bong?
Yeah, through a bong.
Yeah. Was it like whitish or pinkish?
It was blue, and it had like this type of reader, like this digital reader. I'm not sure what exactly it was. Like, it must have been like something upscale from what I was told. Like
The bong had a reader?
yeah, some type of like it was connected to some electrical thing. Like it was to the outlet. It had like some type of reader. And it was
The bong had like it's like I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I'm with a friend of mine, another comic, Barry, and we're at his house. He's like, you should come. It's a different experience, man. Like, you want to try this. And I've only seen stuff from podcasts, others word of mouth.
Yeah.
And I never tried psychedelics, so I'm afraid.
Yeah.
On the drive there, I'm like, what if I just have an emotional outcome?
Yeah.
So I'm like, as I smoke this, bro, and in a way it's funny because you're smoking it and I'm smoking it, and I look at my friend Barry, and Barry turns into three people. Like I see three of him in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude, I am fucked up. And he's like, just mellow out, dude. He has like a whole little trip station, like a bunch of like lights, psychedelics, kind of like a backgrounds and everything, lights going on. So I'm just started thinking, man, like a lot of people say they have like that ego death.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I start like just going through my mind, and I'm like, it was interesting because I've always felt like I said, very in my shell. From like people may like see my outer social, like just me being social in a group of friends, but I'm only like that because they know me, not to the world.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like that to the world. I'm very like to myself. I don't like talking or nothing. So as I'm having this trip, like I just feel myself like thinking, having those deep inner thoughts, like if I don't try anything, what can I expect? What can the outcome be? Nothing.
Yeah.
So I told myself, man, do I know if I'm going to be a hit in stand-up? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have it in me. Like, who does?
Yeah.
All we can do is try.
Work
at it and grind. So I was like, if I don't try, then I can never say that I won't make it. But if I put my best foot forward and just keep doing it, I'm trying to do my best. And who knows?
Yeah.
Just enjoy the ride.
Yep.
That's why I told myself that day, like sitting there tripping, like, just do what you can, man. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll last like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah, about 15.
Oh yeah.
And after that, dude, we started smoking some weed, and he had like a whole drum setup and guitars, and we just started making music.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was just crazy.
Yeah, we've gone off.
So that's one thing I did learn from that, and it was trippy because I never told I always told myself that I'm afraid to have a bad trip because you know you hear like people say,
Yeah.
I tripped.
Oh yeah.
And that was my fear, but it was a lot better than I expected, and I kind of came out of it like in a good place. You know what I mean? Because 26, like you could tell, like in your mid-20s, you start to see life differently. You're like comparing yourself to so many people.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, dude, I'm this and that. They're doing this and that, and I'm like, dude, like I don't know, dude. I feel like it's like a quarter life crisis in a way. I'm like, fuck, like I'm in a way. I was like, you're trying to conform yourself in the place you're in.
Yeah.
Because how can you live in the past, but then try to like work on your future? Like, you know what I mean? You just got to be happy at where you're at, and then you can't change it. You just move forward, man. Keep it pushing.
Yeah. They say something like the art of like sadness is comparison or something like that. You know, when you start comparing yourself to other people, you're never gonna be happy.
Yeah.
You know, that is not even you. You know, you got to see who you are and be you and do you and do what's best for you. When you start comparing yourself to anybody, it doesn't matter size, width, height, education, money, everything. You start comparing yourself, you're always going to be unhappy. So you got to do what's best for you. Work your ass off.
Yeah, and as we live life, we run into all these people. Some of the most successful, like what we think of success, financially successful, are not always the happiest. And it's crazy because I like as a truck driver, I met guys in their 60s, guys in their 50s. I was 21 when I started driving. I've been driving for 5 years now. So, like the guys that I met who are like making six figures, to a guy like my dad makes $20,000 a year working in the fields, picking grapes and busting his back. So to him, hearing that guy was like, bro, I make six figures. Like, yeah, I mean it's cool, but you know how much of my life I missed out? Like,
yeah,
working all these times, like when my kids, and I'm like looking at it from like a young guy's perspective. I'm like, I get you, bro, but like coming from nothing, you're kind of like, I thrive for that, dude, because I had an apartment with like 8 people living there. I got 5 sisters.
Yeah.
So like 5 sisters and 2 parents, 6. I was at like 8 people in a 2-bedroom. Like you're telling me about a 4 or 5 bedroom house, bro, in the middle class area.
Yeah.
Bro, my whole neighborhood is low income. I'm talking like poverty line low.
Yeah.
7, 8 people per household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like cars is like 20, 30-year-old cars.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like you have a brand spanking new car, dude, a house, and you're unhappy. Like, it's crazy, but it makes you think,
Well, everybody's in a different situation in life, and everybody's point of view is differently. You know what I mean? Like, everybody sees things differently, and success is different into people. I had a friend. I'm an electrician. I always want to be like make more money, be the journeyman, be the foreman, be the superintendent. And this guy was just happy being a journeyman. He's always the happiest guy. I'm like, hey man, you are really good at your job. You should be a foreman. He's like, no, I'm content.
Yeah.
And then that was stuck in my head. Like, oh man, I'm always striving to do this, that, and that doesn't mean I'm right or I'm better or I'm more successful. I just have a different point of view about what is fulfilling, my empty holes in my life. I need to do these other things, but to be content. Whatever it is, doesn't matter money, success, anything. That's the key.
Hell yeah.
So I always put that in mind, like, okay, no matter what I'm doing, trying to get more job, I'm working out of town, bust my ass, where's my content? I got to find that shit. That's why I'm starting busting my ass more on this. Because I've been an electrician for almost 30 years, So I'm like, I'm ready to fucking get out of there, do this, spend more time doing the things I love, been doing. Art, I painted all these paintings, and so do this stuff more, you know what I mean? And be with my family and give opportunities for my family, you know?
And that's what one guy told me was like, bro, if I would have, because we work for a big carrier, like a big company, like they make a ton of money, have like national like accounts and all kinds of stuff, dude. Like I would rather be that guy driving a dump truck, the garbage truck, making 50 G's a year. and be home every day with my family than be out here on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 6 days a week for 6 figures. And like, it's damn, like right now, like I drive locally. So luckily for me, my experience transitioned to a job where I'm home daily now.
Yeah.
So I'm able to hit these mics. But back then, bro, like, can you imagine having 10 hours to sleep?
Oh, bro.
Wanting to do stand up? Like,
Bro.
I would have to kill.
So like I said, I would start my day. I wake up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I drive to San Jose. I show up about an hour before work. I have a bed in the back of my car. I slept back there for about an hour, 15 minutes before work. I wake up. I work an 8-hour day as an electrician. Drive back home. I get home around 6:30 to 7:30. Fit all this in, and then wake up at 2:30 the next day. It's almost impossible. Yeah. And then mics start at 7. So like I said, when I went and got that one mic and I got early and then I didn't get the spot I wanted, I'm like, you don't understand how much of my day it took me to get here and to have to be disrespect. Like I'm like, I ain't dealing with that. I'm just moving on. Exactly. You can do that on your own. You know what I mean? So like,
and I see what you mean too. Like I have like times where I got to start at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Because too. Like I work for like a construction like transportation company, so I take like materials like asphalt. I take
they need it at a certain time.
Basic, and all that, and I got to be there early.
They start at 7, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're like in the same boat. You're like, I want to do these mics, and I got to kill some of my time from my sleep time, my rest time, and then we got to get up early and prep for work too. Like get our stuff ready. I got to like do pre-trips, and I got to check like everything. Like we're eating away at our sleep time to do what we like. But you know what I mean? It's like I love comedy, so I'm willing to like battle just my schedule.
Yeah.
In order to do what I want to do.
I have a trip sometimes. Like I hear other people who don't have like real jobs in life. Like we have real jobs, right?
Yeah.
It takes real time, and it's taken away from our life. We're actually in prison for this job, right? For a certain amount of time. But if you are, say, a celebrity or someone who doesn't have a clock to clock into, your perspective in life is not the same as ours. Your time availability, everything is different. So when people are like, you just need to work harder. Like, no, bitch. I'm already giving all these hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I give more, I'm not spending any time with my family, which somehow, some people get lucky. Some people bust their ass, but some people finally get the opportunities like Brendan Schaub, as an example. I don't know who Brendan Schaub is.
Yeah, the mixed martial artist comedian.
Yeah, fucking dude's making killing out there, he's okay, funny, But he's busted his ass early, but we all busted our ass early, right? Yeah. We all worked hard, But now at a certain time, I don't think he's 32, 34 maybe. Now it's just family time with sporadic work.
Yeah.
At the hours you want to make it work.
Exactly.
Right? And that's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like for us, we're like trade careers. And that's like where you draw the line, which was a lot of people don't see that.
Yeah.
Like you go to school and stuff like that, like if you're going to university or whatever, and like we have like a job that's like meant for somebody who wants to do long-term career. This is your end line. Like educational wise, like you just learned what you needed to. Now you're really like moving forward. This is it.
Yeah. It's almost like freelance communism.
Yeah.
We got you in your role for life. The government needs you. And the government says all the time, we should have more trade jobs. We need more people out there driving trucks and blah, blah, blah. The funny thing is about society, if we're going to be a successful society, your dad was in the field, right?
Yeah.
Then you became a truck driver. Is your kid going to the field?
Yeah. I might tell them to go see what it's like. Cause that's
but his end goal in life.
Oh, hell no.
No. Even you love your truck driving, give me a great opportunity, but I don't want my kid to be an electrician. So a successful society, you're going to eliminate all these jobs.
Yeah.
Because this is how good, that's what it's supposed to do. Because you want better for your kids than you want. And why would you say, hey, kids, no, guess what? We're all just going to make $50,000 a year. And no one's going to be super successful, even if you wanted it. You know what I mean? So that's where immigration is highly important.
Yeah.
Because it sounds rude, but we got to keep on bringing in new people that are buying into an American dream. Yeah. Just like a pyramid scheme. Yeah. Or you're always going to be if you don't keep on buying 10 more people into your pyramid scheme, you're never going to make money. You're always going to be stuck, your whole family will be stuck with that. So,
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like
get deep in the shit.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like people see in education too, man. Because like for me, tell me if this is true for you guys too. We're so regulated, like by like the government, and on top of that, so many variables that we don't see. Like, I can lose my job and I got to start over from zero because I have no education, but I got a GED. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so,
you mean like you go to another trucking company though, right?
for example, like if I got too many speeding tickets, my license is revoked.
Oh yeah,
I can't get
if
a
you
trucking
can't be
job.
if you can't be a driver, yeah.
So then it's like these jobs are so crazy because like
Square one.
Yeah, square one, bro. Like, what am I gonna do? I gotta go find somewhere else.
Yeah, there's so many things like that people don't understand.
Yeah, and they think it's like for like your job too is dangerous, bro. It's working with electrical.
Way more dangerous than police officers,
And like,
always have been.
You know what I mean? So and it's like if you guys make a failure, it's like fail on doing something different,
kill people.
kill people yourself, others. And
I'm state licensed today. And the last couple of days, I have to do constant schooling. So every 3 years, I have to take hours and hours of schooling to keep up my education. Yeah, it's fucking strict. Like you guys have to do fucking testing and fucking breaks and all the other stuff. Here and there. Eventually,
Yeah, it's you know what I mean? It's no joke. Like it really ain't. And like, so being like, sometimes I think is this like we're like at a time like I'm pretty sure you have too where like, can I do this in the long run? Like, because for me it's like, dude, I'm 26. Like 30 years from now, truck driving, it's gonna change so much, dude. Like I already got variables in front of me. Like I'm like, what am I gonna do? Mainly because like I said, I got GED, bro. When I was young, I was dumb.
Yeah.
I was like ditching school, getting into fights. I was like doing all this. So like when people like know who I was then, that's not who I am now.
Yeah.
Like I'm mature now. Like I don't care about any high school problems no more.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's behind me.
Yeah.
But like I think like, dang, if I would have chose something, man, like I'd rather like get an education because I'm like, that's why, like you said, with your kids, like I don't have any children right now, but the future, like in education, is big. Cause
Yeah, you didn't have the guidance.
Yeah,
you just said, hey, work hard.
Yeah,
go to school. But if you had the guidance, where would you have been with a little bit of help?
Yeah, first generation Mexican American, man. My parents told me if you ain't going to school, you got to get a job.
Yeah,
because the whole point for them was like, you know how it is, like hardworking, like blue collar people, like when it's like, hey man, like you got to get on it, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
my dad's my mom's Mexican and my dad's Irish, but my dad's plumber, third generation. So fucking as soon as I graduated high school, I had to get a fucking job. If I didn't get a job, I'm out of the house. You know what I mean? And so,
and that's what like it's crazy, man. Like it's like crazy how like the journey of life takes you. Like you say, you don't want your kids doing like electrician work.
No. I give there's two things I'll say about one. Like I said, your job's changing. I think a lot of this shortage is kind of a on purpose. One, you can't get, I guess it's called a cat card or something like that. You're trying to get a Homeland Security to pick something up off a port. Like I guess a lot of truck drivers have a hard time getting it because not all truck drivers are Americans either. Like I said, it's a lot of jobs like in labor, construction included. We're entry level positions typically. So you get entry level people in your society. The broke, the poor, or the immigrants. So we don't have if you have to get now Homeland Security. Typically, if you're broke or poor, you get busted with stupid tickets or all the other bullshit you can deal with in life because we're just normal trying to make it. And then now you can't get stuff cleared. So I think Elon Musk is big push, especially all these electric cars. He said his number one goal is to get electric freight cars. That's what he's been working on 100%. He said about 3 years ago, he's at 99% safety rate on the trucks, but that's not good enough. He wants to get 100% safety rate in all the vehicles. So he has everybody driving around with the cars. The cars are scanning the roads, right? And when they keep scanning the roads enough with all their intelligence, they're going to take that information, put it in the trucks, and it's all going to be automated. And it could be great for a society to have trucks that run perfect timing, close, no maintenance. Now, all of them can be done like that. Like your job can't be done like that. Concrete trucks can't be done like that. So many things that can't be done like that. But there's certain things, just like the railroad train, one train guy's taking, miles and miles of fucking freight that now electric trucks can do. And I think that's what he's going with it. Yeah. So I think that's a big push. But I'm a union electrician. So to become a journeyman, you join to an apprenticeship, right? Yeah. So it's a 5-year program. So when people get in their very first year, or any apprentice I see, I give them the same advice to every apprentice. And I say this to everybody, and you should go across life, really. These are basic life stuff. One, own your apprenticeship. They're not going to say they're not going to build you. They're going to provide you information. You got to get the information and study and work your hard to be the best electrician you can. They're not going to make you an electrician. You got to own it and become a good electrician. Be employable, not employed. A lot of electricians sometimes will be at a company and then they're just delivering material instead of actually doing the electrical work. And then they get to another job site, like, hey, can you hook the lights up? Like, nah, sorry, I spent 8 months just dropping off stuff. It's like, but you're an electrician, not the truck driver. It's like, well, I was working. No. Be employable, not employed, motherfucker. Because now you become a journeyman. You don't know shit. No one's going to hire you unless you have a good buddy. Third one is the most important one that covers all bases is keep going to college. Now you have a job to provide you. You have a job to provide you. Go do what you fucking want to do. Don't be stuck here for the rest of this. Doesn't have to be your dead-end job. If you have a job now, don't let society tell you this is what it is, what you want to be, unless this is what you want to be. Go to college, be what you want to be. You know?
Yeah, because I think, like you said, like exactly like that, man. We always look at other people. Like, like an electrician can make great money, but there's a lot of risk.
A lot of risk.
And then sometimes we look at the people who go to like 9 to 5 in a cubicle. We're like, bro, I mean, your job, whatever it may be, like difficult to you, whatever, you know it better than us. But we look at you sometimes like there's no risk there.
Well, yeah, and then after 10 years too, I'm sick of it. I built all these buildings. And I'm 20 years into it. I'm like, I'm fucking. Sometimes, dude, I'll go through a day, and I'm like, I don't know what I did.
Yeah,
I hooked up gang of shit. I know I did all right, but like I've just done so much of it. It's sickening, boring to me. You know, I'm at the point in my career like I ran the airport. As I ran taxiways and runways. I did some work at the courthouse. I've done a lot of jobs. I have no interest even in running work anymore. I'm not even interested in the trade almost. This is boring to me. That's why I'm putting so much effort into this shit.
Yeah, because you have to, man. Like when you do that, something like that, you just never know, man. You got to do your own stuff. Sometimes, like you get placement, like complacent, like in a job, but you got to realize, man, that job ain't forever, dude.
I need to live.
You know how many jobs we've been through? Like I've been through, like as 5 years as a truck driver, probably went through like 4 different companies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you got to keep hopping on what's better, and sometimes what's better, like for you, like saying you want to make a comedy club, for you saying you want to, like you have this great studio you're working on, bro. Sometimes you got to use what you have, bro, and do it for yourself.
Yeah,
because those type of jobs, man, you just never know. Those type of trades, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, bro. You just never know. So it's better to bet on yourself.
I tell the wife that too. Sometimes it gets feast and famine. Job ends. We have the job ends. What do? You get laid off. You go back to the hall. You sign the book. You get to the next job.
Yeah.
You mean? And now dictated on you building some shit.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to do something. I'm waiting for you to give me work. I'm done with that. I'm gonna get my own work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my own work. I'm gonna make my own stuff. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna create my own stuff, and that's what I've been doing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm investing in everybody, too. Like I said, I've been talking to everybody. Hey, fucking, I believe in you. I mean, I see you guys, people who work, people hustle. Believe in people. That's what we're trying to do here. Like I said, I'm reaching out to everybody. Come, join this, because if you guys don't be part of this, then I won't be successful. But if you're not here, who's gonna see you? Like I told you earlier, dude. This year probably. What did I say? I've gotten about probably 40 on all the things I've got. At least 40,000 different people see me last year.
Great.
How is that possible? You know what I mean? I have one podcast, or I have one YouTube channel where I have probably a total of I think last year, 27,000 views. And then I have my podcast, my individual audio ones. And I probably had 3,000 or 5,000 audio downloads. I have no advertisement. No one knows who I am. I mean, there's no sexy picture of a girl's boobs or nothing to advertise to get people like, what is this? You have to seek it out or an algorithm. So I've had thousands of people listen and download from Ireland to Alaska to all over the place. For people opportunity to expose themselves. Not like that. Not like so, that's a different show. But so in free, right?
Yeah.
And if you could do open mic, which we do a lot, we love it. It's a key part to doing stand up. But you're lucky to get 10, and no way 100 people see you.
Yeah, and then I'm losing money when I go there, bro. I spend money at the bar, I'm like, well, that's how it is for us, bro. Yeah. We gotta go there, and we have to support the venue.
Yeah.
So we're spending money,
dude. All I'm thinking about is tacos. To be honest with you, they said it in a Mexican restaurant. I'm like, yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, that's fire, dude.
Yeah,
I love tacos, man.
The Labyrinth, dude. They got a taco truck right out front. You know, if I didn't have allegiance to the taco truck down the street, I would have got them. But I have to go to my own taco truck that's down the street from my house.
Yeah. Have you ever been? Well, like, have you ever been like when you were like dating someone and you go to like a taco truck or you go somewhere to eat, but you're a regular there? Oh, dude, I was a regular one where went on a date with a girl, took her to the taco stand, you know, because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something, man. Like
Yeah.
you're telling her, you're like, you're
Yeah.
hyping it up. I'm
I
gonna
got
show
my
you
people.
something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you got good tacos? Let me show you where I go to.
Yeah.
I took her, man. The guy, like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I eat, bro. Like when I could eat, I eat.
Yeah.
So, he was like reading my order back, bro. The usual, Tonio, the usual. I'm like, come on, I mean, like, don't do me like that, dog. Like, let me order, bro. Don't tell me what I usually order. Let me order, because I was like, nah, I don't really order that, you know. Like,
back in the day when I was younger and single before I got married for the first time, I used to love dating. When I grew up, I watched Love Connection. You know what Love Connection is?
nah.
So Love Connection was a show. It was in the 80s and 90s. It was a dating show where I think it was one guy heard like almost like back in the day they had cassette dating tapes. Like, you know, hi, I'm Debbie, and I like to do this, that. And this guy would listen to these three people, and he'd pick from the three people he'd want to go on a date with. Go on a date, come back, and they'd talk about their date and see if they had a love connection. If they had a love connection, they would send them on a trip. If they didn't, they would, you know, sometimes they'd bring one of the person's back. Sorry, it didn't work for you. That Tony was a dickhead, you know.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that.
No, that sounds interesting. No, that's lit.
You know, but so I've always grew up with these dating shows. Fonzie, I told you, I mean, I loved fucking Fonzie as a kid. Fonzie was a dater, right? Cheers. Sam Malone, he was dating chicks. There was a show called Studs back in the day. It was another dating show. So, like, I grew up always thinking dating. 80s movies, that guy from Mr. McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy. He had a bunch of 80s shows, Loverboy, and a bunch of other like 80s shows, all about dating. So I grew up in, I was dating was a big thing. So when I would go on dates, I started taking people to restaurants, but I'm a big eat,er. Yeah. And I went to a Mexican restaurant. I usually total what happened. I went to a Mexican restaurant and I took this chick and she ordered a cheese burrito. I was like, what? You know, a cheese burrito. We're in a Mexican restaurant, bitch. Like, sorry about that. I didn't mean to bring her. Like, I'm gonna pay how much for a cheese burrito? Damn, you know. So, okay, cool. Then, you know, took leftovers home. She went her business. I went my business. Next day, I woke up, got in the car. She left the cheese burrito in the car. Granted, it's cheese burrito. I still would have ate it.
Yeah,
I would have ate the leftover. I think all the leftover. And I realized that moment, like, this is a bad decision. I'm gonna go to a place where they have platters, like a Chinese restaurant where you order beef and rice, and then I take all the leftovers home. Yeah. So I started going to this same place over and over again in River Park called Daiichi's. Loved it. You know, so this might have ruined a bunch of people's fucking hearts. Hey, he took me there. Sorry, everybody went there. Yeah. And then after a while, like, oh, Reuben, new girl? Like, what the fuck did you say, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Like, dude,
don't do me
kill
like
that, bro. It's like, same thing. Like, no. He's like, you come here often? No, I don't come here. Like, fucking shut up, bro. You want tips, all right? So I was like, man, I talked to him like, hey, bro, I just like come here. Don't call me out.
Yeah, don't do me like that, bro.
Give me a break.
And you know, one thing too about dating is that when you take someone out, you try not to eat because you know we all have an appetite. So me, I ain't gonna lie to you. I front like that with these women.
That's why the leftovers come in.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what? I wasn't even that hungry. I ate at the house.
Yeah.
Like, they're always that. Like, I ate at home, but like, get what you want, get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And she doesn't eat, but then you get comfortable with her. She starts tearing shit down.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, damn. But
girls can eat.
Yeah, and it's crazy. They can tear it down. But, like, it's just crazy how all that works, like being a regular at places and how how everything goes, man. Like, dating is just a whole world in itself.
Fuck, dating's crazy nowadays. I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings a lot. I had a buddy who was in a coma. So I used to go to the hospital and visit him. And then in Clovis, after 10, everything's closed except for fast food.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings actually has, like, food, and they're open till 2. So I'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'd go sit at the bar by myself now. I don't have to get a table. I can always just go sit down. And, you know, I'm at the hospital. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Go to Clovis, eat. I was, you know, single dad at the time. So I didn't have the kids, obviously. Hey, kids, at the bar. What do you want? Long Island's everybody. So anyways, I sit by myself. But it got to the point where I'm such a regular that they know what I'd want, you know? And, you know, so, but it was kind of cool being, you know, that was my spot. And people were like, oh, you eat there a lot? Like, yeah, they have salads and chicken and, you know, everything. So, preferably food.
one thing too is an experience. Everywhere you go is an experience, especially if it's an authentic place.
Mm-hmm.
So recently I had a friend tell me about this spot. I won't say where it's at. I'll probably tell you off mic.
Yeah.
Because, we want to keep it clean.
Yeah.
But this spot is crazy in which the lady will tell you you're cheap, you're broke. Like, why don't you get this? Like, it's funny, dude. Like, the way he told me was like, no. Like, you come here, you want the real good shit. Don't come here, you want authentic?
Yeah.
We're going to give you authentic, but don't come here and, like, buy that. Like, it's
well,
funny,
is it
dude.
what kind of food? Mexican food?
It's
Chinese food?
Chinese food.
Yeah, sounds right, yeah. It's like, can I get the teriyaki chicken in orange? No.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. And, like, fuck, dude. Like, have you ever tried to track down, like, food that you ate as a kid?
Yeah, it doesn't taste good like I thought it would.
For real?
Everything's always fucking. I always think everything. I hype everything up and like, oh yeah, this place is fucking huge, and you go like, what the fuck? This is the size of my studio.
Because
I'm always disappointed.
One thing that I did like as a kid was ham and cheese bars.
Ham and cheese bars?
Yeah, you never tried them?
Hmm.
Nah, it's like breaded ham and cheese, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, ham and cheese.
Like,
yeah.
And I found a gas station like in the hood that fucking sells them, bro. Like we would go right there like in the mornings just to go hop on them.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's crazy how the stuff as a kid you're like, damn, I remember that.
See, I had this weird when I was a kid. You talk about being dumb. Like I feel like when I was growing up, I was underdeveloped. Like like everything, my taste buds, my mind, everything until I finally hit 18 and started becoming. And then I getting older, like finally figuring shit out. You know what I mean? Like, but like my mom was Mexican and she made Mexican food all the time. Mexican mom makes food for the dad. Right? My birthday, I got German chocolate cake. Why? Because that's what my dad liked. You know what I mean? My mom's Mexican. Hey, it's not fuck you, boy. It's not your house. But anyways, my mom didn't speak like that.
Yeah.
I wish though, that'd be so awesome. But she made Mexican food all the time. But like I always thought like ketchup was hot. And then I got into construction when I was 17. You're eating off the taco truck or nothing. It became like, oh, dude, I am a salsa fiend. I'm just making chile verde. Like every recipe my mom ever cooked, I'm like, I missed out on my childhood. You know, you made all this food. I didn't eat any of it. You know, so my childhood diets were microwavable shit.
Yeah, and I'm like that too, though. My mom is traditional Mexican. Like she'll cook like the sauces and all that, and it's too spicy for me. Like I'm barely starting to like, I guess you would say, expand my taste.
Yeah,
because like I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I used to eat hot Cheetos like 3 years ago and would sweat up a storm.
Oh fuck, I've never eaten them.
Those were hot to me, bro. Those were spicy. My friends will make fun of them. Like they're tearing that down. They even go to like the Mexican butcher shops and buy like the ones like chips from Mexico, and those things are spicy.
No,
and they're the type of people to throw like
tapatio on it,
and stuff like that on top of that.
You know, once your taste buds are burnt, you got to keep on getting more and more. I don't fuck that shit. I've never eaten them. I'm not. Cheetos are okay, but I'm not eating the flaming hot shit. Never been that. I don't like crying in public. You know, when I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, these chicks would come in. And they were like, oh, yeah, I'll get the flaming hot wings. I'm like, oh, you guys are getting a competition? She's like, no, I'm just having dinner. You know, and this fucking chick would just eat like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, that is death. Down. You know, I got to go to the middle of the road and like, there's like a mango habanero, which is awesome, but I don't like to cry in public, so I don't get them, you know?
Yeah, so. I'm right there. It's crazy. Like, have you ever seen somebody eat a jalapeno like right off like the grill? Like they want it grilled and then they just start eating them. Like, dude, like what are you doing?
I can taste a little bit, but like I'm not. So I don't need everything to be fear factor in life. Where I need to test my taste buds and I also I like sugary sweet shit.
Yeah, I feel you. I kind of in a way sometimes I like. It's funny because like, all right, so I'm not a big seafood fan.
Yeah.
So a lot of my Hispanics they eat a lot of seafood like mariscos.
Yeah.
So for me, like one time I was at a friend's house and his mom like, you don't want to be rude, man. You're at somebody's house. You want to eat at the table, right? Yeah. Whatever you serve, I'm gonna eat it. I don't care if it's not
whole
delicious.
Fish.
Yep. And she served us shrimp. Dude, I've never eaten shrimp in my life. I had shrimp soup, and then I had the Pepsi to my left. I'm like right there, and I'm like, all right, how do I eat this? I see my friends just eating it. Dude, I did not want to choose a shrimp because I was like, you know what I mean?
Was it cold?
It was warm. It was so hot.
Oh, okay, warm. Okay.
I swallowed the fucking shrimp.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't. But my friend and everybody is staring at me at this table. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? Like, you take the shell off of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I finished the whole plate and I go, now you tell me, bro. Yeah. Like y'all let me finish this whole thing, and like they were like, we just were surprised at what you were doing.
Yeah. He's like, I thought it was country. Like it was fucking. I didn't know it was supposed to be country. I don't know. It's fucking crunchy as fuck.
Yeah, and then, dang, like some of that stuff, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah, my mom pissed me off. My mom was so like my parents just go out all the time. My parents were almost like they didn't have a kid. You're like, hey, we're going out. I'm like, cool, where do dinner? Like, what? Bring Mexican food. Oh, okay, maybe we're getting Mexican food. You know, they wouldn't bring back shit ever. Don't give a fuck. They're going partying. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
but my mom's really small, like 5 foot. So if she ever brought back food, it'd be a whole fish. Like, I'm not eating that. That's not even good leftovers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just covered in fucking lettuce. You know,
Yeah.
the whole eyes there still. Like, fuck, mom, buy some normal food.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
You don't like sushi or anything like that?
I've never tried it, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I get like, I guess maybe I like watch too much TV. So I watch like a show where like somebody's allergic to fish.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like right there thinking like,
is that me?
Like, yeah, is that me? Like, if I tear this down, what's gonna happen?
I was a late bloomer to fish too, but like I started like trying like fish and chips, and that's different than normal fish. And fish and chips is pretty damn good. You know, it's grilled fish or fried fish. How bad can it be? And then one time my dad went deep sea fishing and caught a salmon, and then we had salmon. Well, that's not really fish. That's like a fucking steak, bro. So like you eat that like, oh, this ain't fish. This is fucking good. And then I started trying like calamari, and calamari is flavorless, almost just whatever spice you put on it. And shrimp's good, but I gotten recently into sushi. Winco, bro, has some bomb ass sushi.
Yeah,
dude, they have like a crispy fucking York roll, or it is, or man, it's. I don't go for like vegetable to have them like filled with cucumbers. I'm not going that far. I'm eating fried. It's tempura shrimp, fried shrimp inside there. Man, it's hell bomb.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I never tried sushi. I'm gonna have to do it. There's certain things that I do want to try, man. But you ever been stoned and go to a buffet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, everything.
It's always so much fun when you're growing up. Like you just get stoned and just do everything. Because I like sometimes for the longest I had to get my friends out of their shell. They're the type of stoners that like to sit down and just hang out.
Yeah, well, do some shit. Enjoy life.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like if we're getting high, dude, I'm gonna go race go-karts, dude. We're gonna go fucking laser tag.
Enjoy life.
Yeah, that's the whole point of getting high, bro.
Or you're stoned. I'm gonna get high. You're gonna get stoned.
Yeah, you know exactly. And I would tell them like they'd be like surprised, like you went to go race go karts. I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm Tokyo drifting in every corner.
Yeah, token and drifting.
Yeah, and like one time we were right there. You know where Sunnyside's at? Mm-hmm. So we were up there by Sunnyside. There's an A-star buffet, good buffet to me.
Oh yeah.
And they had a carnival, one of those pop-up carnivals, and we were just smoking in the parking lot. Went inside. And it was crazy because, like, you know how at buffets there's, like, portions. They portion everything out. So I was so stoned that I saw a hamburger split in half, like, portion. My friend is just staring at me. I'm like, shoot the whole thing. I'm like, I don't give me no portion, but give me the whole thing.
Yeah.
So then we get outside and we smoke again. And the pop-up carnival's there. So we go and we're stoned and, like, we're playing the, you know, that little ball you toss into, like, the hamper.
Yeah.
Like you
basket one.
Yeah, the basket one. And we're like right there and we're talking to the carny, bro. I spent like $20. I'm like, dude, I'm broke. I ain't got no more money. So, but we have weed.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a carnival.
Yeah.
It's not a legit carnival.
No.
It's one of those shady-ass carnivals.
Yeah.
And I fucking looked at him. I was like, bro, like, we'll give you some fucking weed. He's like, fuck yeah, dude, 3 more balls.
Yeah.
And
it was him, balls or nothing.
Yeah. So we fucking played and I fucking lost, dude. And then that reminds me of one time, like, you know, people don't know anymore, bro. We used to have to buy, like, allegedly burned DVDs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bootlegs.
Yeah. People don't remember. Like, I still remember all that, bro. One time we were by, we were by Fusco. And back in the day, you knew who was selling bootleg DVDs in parking lots because they have that big backpack, bro. You know, we're walking around, bro. They got a big fucking catalog, you know? And so we traded a Little Caesars pizza for the Ted, the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
But we're like, everybody pitched in for this pizza. So we're like, you take it home tonight, give it to me tomorrow. He took it home, watched 30 minutes of the movie, and it cut off.
Oh, yeah.
So we got burned for Little Caesars for 30 minutes. He goes, bro, it was a great movie, but I took it home and 30 minutes in, it cut off. There was nothing there.
Oh, man. That's probably why people have so much more money nowadays. You know, back in the day, we were broke because we had to buy CDs, right? We had to buy cassettes, fucking VHS tapes, DVDs. We had to buy shit to have shit, to see some shit.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the fuck's going on in life. Now everything's just out there free, streaming. You know? It's fucking crazy. Yeah, I back in the day, there was a Sunnyside drive-in you know, and then it became the weekends would be the Sunnyside swap meet, and then it just became a straight swap meet, you know,
Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, and then so we go down there back in the day. This is like, you know, the 80s, and that's where you'd buy all your bootleg shit. So I'd get a bootleg Sure Mix-a-Lot tape. I'd get bootleg like was it
My posse on Broadway.
yeah, exactly. I just want to have the Louis Vuitton fucking fanny sack because that fanny packs were bad back in the day, you know. You get a jacket from Vietnam, you know, because they're all the old army gear. They come and they drop it off. Well, all the fucking people from Vietnam, what we're gonna do is all that old equipment. They didn't take it all back to family, so they sold fucking. I have a cool ass Vietnam jacket straight from Vietnam, but you can buy your name, put your name on it and shit. Right. But I can't wear it out. People are like, you're fucking, you know, stolen valor. Like, dude, it's from Vietnam, bro. Yeah. Like, how old do you think I am? I'm not fucking John Kreese. That's a Cobra Kai. Hell yeah. No, I love, the idea of a buffet is heaven to me.
Yeah.
That's like, I'm an eater. I love food. I used to go, like, if I'm going to get like a pastrami sandwich, I'm like, give me 2. I'm going to eat one now and probably have one later. Yeah. You know, that's how things were rolling, you know? And then, but like, I'm always so disappointed, but like, there's a lot of food, but nothing's like, great. It always feels like, I don't know what it means, you know. I go to Vegas and get their buffet. I was like, nothing seems great, you know. Maybe I just want something. As my expectation for buffet is like heaven. Yeah, you know. I'm thinking this would be the greatest thing ever. Food, and then I end up just piling up on ice cream. Sweet tomatoes. Are you like sweet tomatoes?
Yeah, dude, tomatoes. We used to
no, the buffet, sweet tomatoes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that.
No,
tomatoes.
No, there's a, you know, salad place. They have salad, soup, bread, fucking. That place, I can fucking tear that up, you know? You ever been one of those? Oh, bro, it's granted, the first section is salads, but you can have, you know, it's not salad. It's a pile of all the junk you can put on it. And they have a whole pasta bar. They have a baked potato bar, soup bar, you know, so you can, it's just buffet, but mainly a little bit, they just don't have Asian food, I guess, you know? Yeah. But, man, it's good. There's an Asian place I go to called 1010 down the street from my house. I love it. They know me by name. Reuben, I call. I like to get General Tao chicken. Oh, this Reuben? Yeah. It's like, oh, you want noodle? I want noodle too, you know. Yeah. Like, go in, like, oh, you still working? You work hard, Reuben. And she's like, you know, she's so nice. And her husband, one time I sent my wife in there, and then she's like, oh, Reuben, no pickup? He's like, oh, no, he's at home. He's getting ready for the day. Oh, you're so lucky. Your husband, he work hard. He's so handsome. Yeah. Well, yeah. It comes back, oh, she likes you. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
It's always crazy to get compliments as a man. I feel like we don't get them very often. No. I think women are very bold to sometimes just view. I think it would like catch me by surprise if somebody told me like a compliment. But I had a lady at the gym tell me like, she's 75. She was Chinese. Yeah. She's like, you're very handsome. But it was like funny because it was like a backhanded compliment. Oh, yeah. She goes, you're handsome, but he needs to lose weight. I'm like, oh, God.
Thank you.
And we were in a sauna, and it was just me and her. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. She goes, how old are you? I go, I'm 25. At the time, I was 25, so this was like a couple months ago. So I'm about to turn 26. But I go, I'm 25. She goes, I'm 75. And it's always like from like older people, like older women or something.
Yeah, especially like I said, immigrants, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they understand what a hardworking guy is. Yeah. You know, and here in America, they just want some guy to hang out with me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pay attention to me, hang out with me. I'm like, bitch, I'm working.
Yeah, it's busy, you know what I mean? And it was funny because, like, it just went into a whole thing about, she goes, I have a son. He fat like you. I'm like, oh, okay. And then she started, like, she's like one of those people, like, it reminds me a lot of my mom because my mom is funny in this way, too. She was like, do these high knees and touch your toes and then you'll lose weight. Yeah. I'm like, that's not really an exercise. It's like stretching, right? Yeah. So she's like, you do this, you do that. And then she told me like about her story. She's like, you come visit me. And I'm like, she goes, call me grandma and all this and that. I'm like,
sold.
I'm there. Like, yeah. I'm going to be kicking it out there, man.
Yeah, you never know. I had a
seafood shop, man.
Fuck yeah. Down for that. I had a buddy, he would get rub and tugs. You know, felt electrician. So he'd tell me, like, I got a rub and tug. I'm like, that's crazy. And eventually when we were hanging out, like, he's like, yeah, I went to a place called Lucky Bamboo. It sounds like fucking, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, fucking tell me about it. He's like, so, yeah, this girl, you know, she's in there. She's rubbing. I've been there a couple times, you know. And what'd you pay? He's like, it's like $50. I'm like, fuck, that ain't that bad. You know, $50. And she's like, so how's it go? She's rub. And then, you know, at first she like jerked me up. Now she's fucking just gets up there and fucking just, you know, fucks me. Like, oh, that's fucking crazy. She looked like a big fat girl, skinny girl. She's like, no, she's, you know, smaller. She's like 67. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's as old as fuck. Like, Like, yeah, start the conversation with that first. You know, like
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like, as I don't know, we have these like funny conversations. Like, we're talking about like MILFs and stuff,
Mhm.
and like somebody was asking me like, "What's the oldest person you're willing to date?" Man, I'm single, so shout out.
yeah, hell yeah.
So they were like asking me, and I was like, in a way, I'm like, I really like, I don't know. Like one guy was like, "Oh, I'm some woman in her 40s." He's like in his 30s. I'm like, I really don't think I have a limit, dog. Like,
hot is hot.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You only got a bottom, and you're going up, right? 18's the bottom, and then we're going up. But after that, it's accessibility and attractiveness. You know what I mean? So the age is irrelevant. I'm not trying to get Social Security from you. I'm trying to get the vagina.
And one thing too is funny. Like, have you ever thought about being a stay-at-home husband? Like, if you had the option, would you do it?
I'm too active, but I've had probably conversations in the past. People thought, hey, you can stay home. Like, yeah, that's not me. I'm doing shit.
I don't know. Like, sometimes like we work so much. We're like, you know what? A break. That sounds like a nice break.
Yeah.
Shit, you can take care of me. Why not?
I have no problem. For my woman make more money than me. Yeah, let's go ahead. Take it. What you want to pay for the house? You mean that? Want to pay for the house and everything? I'm good with all that. Make way more money than me, please.
Yeah, but the house got to be in my name. You make those payments.
but I know I'm always super, super active and always in control of everything. But like, yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. There was this. I don't know. When I was single and I was dating, there's a girl tried to catfish me one time.
Yeah.
She was I only talked to her like 4 hours, but like in the first hour, she was really pretty on the dating app. Like, this chick's really pretty, and she's like, "Yeah, you should move in with me." I'm like, "That's big." How's this super hot chick asking me to move in with her? I think it was fucking crazy. And then find out and meet her in person, like, "Oh, that ain't you. That ain't you. That's why you're fucking crazy." Fucking. But yeah, no. That'd be nice to have someone make twice as much money. Sometimes there's girl electricians, and like in the Bay Area, we make a lot of money up there. Yeah. And there's a girl electrician, and I just think, like, man, if you date another electrician, you guys make a lot of money. That's fucking cool, Yeah, then I'm like, Dave, you ain't that bad looking. We put our things together. We get double health care. This is fucking great. Retire.
Yeah, dude, man. Hell yeah.
Man, that'd be the dream.
That'd be the dream. I've been trying to, like, I like to make those jokes. Especially I like messing around with my sister. She wants to be an environmental lawyer, like environmentalist.
Yeah.
I really don't give. I like to mess with her. Like, I really don't give a fuck about the environment. I still buy plastic.
Yeah.
And
I buy way too much plastic.
Yeah, I buy the 6-pack of sodas and I don't cut the fucking plastic.
Just
I don't
killing
give a fuck
everything.
about the animals.
Struggling, fucking strangling all the fucking turtles.
I just like, exactly, strangle the turtles. I'm like, anything you do that's positive for the environment, I'm doing the opposite.
Counteracting.
Yeah, I go, so, like, what do you call it? I'm going to X your shit out, your positive shit.
That was like in an election, my wife said, well, if you're going to vote for so-and-so, then I'm going to vote for so-and-so. I'm like, no, what are you doing that for? I want to fucking vote. You don't fucking cancel me out, then. It's not good.
Yeah, and one time, like, I was in Oregon, I was truck driving. Dude, like, have you ever, like, I'm sure, like, since you travel for work, you probably had to stay overnight certain places.
Oh, yeah.
So, have you ever been, like, at breakfast and, like, strangers just start talking to you? Like,
now you talk to everybody, yeah.
So,
I look like everybody's friend for some reason.
Some dude came up to me, man, and, like, he was, like, an older gentleman. He was, like, probably, like, in his late 60s. Trump was on TV, right? There was the news. Why? Everywhere you go, bro, like, why at the gyms or everywhere? Why do they always put something so controversial on TV? Like,
Fox News
like
is on every...
put, like, you know what I mean? At the gym, like, it's always the fucking news and stuff like that. Like, you want to divide the gym?
No, they own the... So that's one of the things. St. Clair Media, this company called St. Clair Media, they're on 4 out of every 4 TVs in the world. So, like, Fox News, St. Clair Media, there's all such bullshit. Almost everything you watch TV is owned by this one company. That's why they put it on there, too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I was like... I'm like thinking to myself, like, isn't there something else to watch, like sports or something, like something that's not so divisive to us? But he came up to me and was like, "That's our guy." Like he like assumed I was like on his side. He's like, "You know what, buddy? That's our guy." And me, I don't like talking politics with people, like, cause you know what I mean. It's so divisive, dude. I just want to be like cool with people, and so I just turned to him. I'm like, "What?" He's like, he's for me and you. Like, and I looked at him. I'm like, the government is not run by people. There's reptilians. Like, there's shapeshifters. He was like, he literally looked at me like, what? Like, got freaked out and like took a couple steps to his left. and like got away from me. I'm like, yeah, get away from me. I want to talk about this shit with
That seems like
nobody.
some actually Trump supporter would be like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. QAnon, it is reptile people that are eating babies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I see.
Awesome
My dad. I'm named after like a political activist, and I'm named after a boxer. And my dad grew up in the Bay Area, is big into politics. He was there around the Black Panthers, so he knows the Black Panthers who they were as a real people, not like they try to make them an enemy of the state. They actually really did a lot of good things, you know. And so I've always been into politics. My dad's always watched it. So politics are almost like sports, though, or you really couldn't like, or religion. I'm not going to convince you not to be Christian. You know, you're Christian, but if you're going to say something, I love pointing out how hypocritical or how wrong people are or how stupid. I don't want to take a side. I won't even give you my opinion. But you know, like when I love him, I mean, I get in trouble all the time for this. I'm a heartbreaker. I love it. Yeah. So when people talk to me in public or they got a hat on or something like that, I'm like, oh, we're going to talk about this? Oh, sweet. This is great. Dude, you're in the car. You're driving. I'm in the car for 6 hours a day driving. I have nothing but time to listen to podcasts and news and sports. I am overly informed. I have way too much information. Yeah. So when both people talk to me, I'm like, oh, this is great. My wife's like, don't do it. Like, even like family functions, my wife's family is hardcore Trump supporters. Named their kid after Ronald Reagan and all this stuff. And everything's coming to fruition that they're wrong now. They're fucking so mad. But like, I'm not allowed to have conversations. They're like, don't over there and push your agenda. I'm like, no, I don't say nothing. But when they're over there saying, fuck Biden, or, they don't say fuck Biden, they're pussies. They say, let's go Brandon. I'm like, oh, let's have a conversation. You know, like we're for freedom. I'm all, do you understand you have an American flag and a flag with the police and a flag with the fire department? Why don't you just put the IRS back there also? You're just a representation of government. If you right now were going to break free of the government, what flag would you raise? You wouldn't raise the American flag. That's America's flag. If you're leaving the government, you fly a new flag, right? Yeah. So when people have those flags, like, yeah, you're not free. You're tied as much as you got. You're the biggest government representation as there can be. You're singing the national anthem. You get your flag around. Like, you are a government representation. You know what I mean? That's not anything about freedom. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love our flag. I love our national anthem. I'm not even taking a stance on it. I think it's funny. I like to break people's heart. Like, well, no. Like, no, they're good. You know, you say you believe in government, but if you said founding fathers, our founding fathers didn't believe in a standing government. They wouldn't have our standing military. We didn't have a standing military until a long time into it. That's why I had a militia. So our founding fathers would be against the military. Well, like, I'm just fucking with you. Yeah. History's fucking crazy. I was like making this point out, you guys don't know what the fuck you're saying. And then they're like, well, I really like politics. Like, I know. Nobody does. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's in some real shit, you know? But then when reptilian people are in there control, we're all fucked, you know?
Yeah, shape-shifting, man.
Yeah. That's funny about Q. People always say, like, you know, we don't know who Q is. They know who Q is. Are you dumb? Yeah. They know who everybody is. You know, they're tapped on everything, and they don't know who this guy QAnon is. If you think the government doesn't know anything, they had millions of dollars stolen from a company through some kind of digital scam. They got all that money back. They know everything. They don't think they know who Q is. They set up Q. Q is, you know, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, bro. I love conspiracy theories too.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, man, like, you see a lot of crazy shit when you travel.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's crazy to travel and see. You're like, what? And I love, I've always been into like conspiracies, like not like a super like lunatic type of, like, you know what I mean? Something that's just definitely just straight up like, bro, okay.
50% of them are true. 50% of them are overly whacked.
Yeah, and like, you know, like growing up, like I listen to a lot of music. I'm a big music fan. You know, the Illuminati's always been up about it. Like, so it's funny to like,
especially rap.
Yeah, and rap and all that. So I just love all that, bro. Like, sometimes I would be like on the road traveling cross country and get creeped out because I listen to true crime podcasts or true crime stuff too, dude. I'm in the middle of nowhere, like, fuck, dude. I'm seeing some creepy people.
Yeah, like, people do crazy shit all the time, and then just whacked out shit.
Yeah,
you know, and like when I was doing that, so I was doing a murder podcast, researching different homicides or murders around the area. Typically, a homicide or murder, you're killed by someone you know. It's usually a spouse. That's typically it. Or some kind of situation. Somebody you know. You've interacted with this person. Somehow you affected the situation or outcome. Yeah. But then I'm listening to these, murderers. These guys just picked up random fucking people, cut them up. This guy, his name is, God, I can't can't remember his fucking name. I'm working on the podcast, but listen to all. He killed first person picked up was a lady from Fresno, but he was over in the Santa Cruz area.
Yeah.
He was actually a sheriff for the Santa Cruz. Ed Keller.
It's not the university killer, is it?
No, but there was 3 killers at the same time killing people from that area.
Yeah.
And this guy was big, tall Ed. And he would just pick up random people, cut them up, and then fuck their skulls. One he loved so much, he kept the skull outside the not skull, full head.
Yeah.
Outside, full head, mouth and everything, outside the window, staring at inside the window because he felt he had a connection with her, so he wanted her looking at him at all times. And they would take it back and then fuck the skull again. You know what I mean? Random person. He didn't know any of these people, So you gotta be careful out there.
Oh yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Does it ever surprise you, like, especially you're talking about that researching crimes around town? Does it ever surprise you when you stumble across something, like if you're just like listening to like a YouTube video about murders and stuff, and then one says like, "Oh, this happened in Fresno," like what?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm only trying to do local ones. So that was Santa Cruz. The first one I did is online is the Yule murders. They lived at Sunnyside in those houses. They owned a plane company over here at the airport.
Yeah.
And then the family had a bunch of money. They the son had some kind of mental illness somehow. But he went away to Santa Clara University and was at Santa Clara University, would lie to everybody, say he's from a billionaire family. He'd walk around with a briefcase and say he was like somebody popular, but he had no friends. He was kind of like an outcast. Mm-hmm. And then when he was about 26, his family went on a family vacation. As they left Cambria to come home, they came in different cars. The son went to go hang out with his girlfriend's family. The dad was an FBI agent, and the family went home. There was a daughter, the mother, and the husband. And the kids, the daughter was like 26 and the son was like 27, 28. They went home. Somebody ambushed them at their house. Sunnyside. Killed all 3 of them. They came in separate cars, though. So killed first the mother and daughter, and then killed the dad. And then they found like yellow fibers on the bodies. Found out they made a silencer. And then they shot through a tennis ball, and the fibers from the tennis ball came over and killed him. But they found out that eventually the son hired people to kill the family because there was inheritance. So he was trying to get an inheritance. So this guy from Fresno had his whole family killed, Danny Yule, and he's in prison now.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You ever been like off the 180? I believe that like going east on the 180 from the 99, and there's like this off of the Van Ness exit, I think it is. Big buildings always been abandoned. Windows are always like broken out.
All right, it's like, are you talking about the it's like I was thinking like that'd be a really cool building. Like it's like a motel and like the white one.
Yeah,
it's on the south side.
Yeah. And you ever like hear that? Well, like rumors about it, like it's. Like,
I know nothing about it.
There's like this page on Facebook, bro. I forgot the name of it, but randomly pops up my feed about like they just do like crazy like stuff like that, or like what about the Wolf Manor?
Wolf Manor, that was tore down now, but that was right over here on Clovis Avenue, right?
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah, so I born and raised here. That's our hangout.
Oh yeah,
so that used to be an old folks home, and my friend lived behind it. Dang. So at night, back in the day, people don't understand. Like literally, not even that far, about 70s and 60s, shock therapy was super popular, even in the 80s. So they have these old folks homes, and people have little problems. They give people shock therapy like crazy, and after what they do with shock therapy, they put you like almost like a comatose state, and then they would give you information and try to refeed you. You're okay, everything's good. Don't think about the devil. And they wouldn't say that, obviously. But and then these people walk around randomly through the out of the Wolf Manor into people's backyards. So my friends like young, they're like a fucking crazy person in their fucking backyard in Clovis there. And then from then on, we played paintball in that area, and then it became the haunted house that people, like all the radio stations had haunted houses there, and then they're fucking like, hey, we shouldn't like abuse this place because they actually like would get like Ouija boards, like I think ghost hunters were in there and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff too, like that. And then I don't know how true this is. I had a friend of mine tell me back in the day. This was like probably 10 years ago. Anyways, there was a van out in that field across the street from like Wolf Manor or whatever, somewhere. And how it's all fields like across there? Yeah,
well, it's Cart Street. Right? You're talking about here in Clovis Avenue, right?
Yeah, it's down Clovis. It's like a bunch, like, it's just like grasslands. You know what I mean? It's like just a bunch of empty fields out there on the same side as city lights, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, out there. That there was a van like with an antenna pointed to the sky for some reason. I don't know how true that was. It was like maybe just a rumor. But stuff like that is weird, you know what I mean, to see or hear about, because you're like, dude, I've been living here my whole life. I didn't know nothing about that.
Man, have you ever been to the underground gardens?
Never, but I
Heard about
right
it,
there,
man.
Shaw 99, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got on that too. It seems pretty cool. You know, there was another murder in Tower District. You remember this one? It was this black guy. He had dreadlocks, and then he had a bus. Yeah, and he killed his whole fucking family, and then stacked them on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then they had to come in and fucking, they were all cut up and like.
It's crazy. Marcus Weston. I think
Yeah,
his name
Marcus
is.
Weston. Yeah, I lived right down the fucking. I lived in Tower District for like 15 years, so I literally lived a block and a half down from that at the time. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They tore that house down.
Sometimes like it's like on Google, you know, you can find all this stuff like that, like searching up random stuff like Fresno murders. Like I googled that because I've always been like it's just so crazy to know. So when I found out about that one, the news article had mentioned the address where it happened at, but they tore it down now and
Yeah.
it's just gated.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like
It's cursed land. Who wants to buy it?
Yeah, and ain't nobody gonna buy
No,
it.
fuck that.
But that one was crazy to see. It was interesting. He like told them he was like he had like his family believing it was a cult. You know,
Yeah,
united
yeah.
like a cult.
Yeah. When that happened, I don't know how old you were at the time. When that happened live, you know what I mean? Like it was happening. They're pulling bodies out and shit. Like, oh my God, it's just going on. What the fuck's? And then like the cops were coming out and was like crying and like
That's
you know, even talking about it's weird.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
crazy.
But they lived through it and see all these children stacked on top of each other. I couldn't imagine. He said the people couldn't take it. They said they were fucking cursed for life, you know, after that.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude.
Yeah.
Traumatized, man. That's some crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Fresno's, like I said, largest population in California. And we're the super fucking California's fifth largest economy in the world. Shit goes down in Fresno, you know, and it's open, really big.
Yeah,
You know?
huge.
And fucking guns are prevalent. Fucking crime is crazy. That's what scares me most about this area is the amount of crime and guns and how do I say this right? Unguided youth that have started out with not enough opportunities.
Yeah.
People who they look at other like, and I get it, you know, fuck those people. Why am I poor and they're rich? Fuck those people. Like, and then take that mentality and then become whoever they become, you know. And then there's so much anger and hate built in that those things are the things that are going to kill us. And how can we fix those? I think it's a circle. You know, we got to stop this circle. You know, and help everybody out. Your success is my success.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if people are failing, it's eventually going to hurt us.
That's one thing too. Like one thing I'll share is that I do volunteer work.
Yeah.
So, like, I never thought I would do it. You know what I mean? Want to make a difference in the community, man. Like, one thing is that you have these older people when you're like involved in certain things. These older, bigger homies, but sometimes they were misguided too.
Mhm.
So, like you said, it's a circle.
Yeah.
Your big homie's misguided, then you're misguided because you're following that.
Yeah.
So you have to break the circle, like, you know what I mean? And like, why are you gonna ruin your community, bro? Like, robbing the people in your community don't do nothing for it.
Yeah.
You're hurting the community.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's crazy. So, and on top of that, man, like for young people who like hear stuff like that out, man, like you're gonna rob somebody and you just like hurt everybody, dude. Like one thing that somebody told me was like, if you rob the wrong person, dude, it's bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What are you doing? And also, like, I had a friend. He was from Sanger. He was a gangbanger. He got shot at when he was like 15, 16. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a program, Gangs to Jobs program. Our union represented it. We hired this kid. Even when he was in apprenticeship, he still got in some gang shit. And then when he turned out, he was still trying to give his money back to the gang and stay in Sanger. And I told him, look, dude, like, you're smart, right? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm fucking smart, bro. He's like, he was smart. He just didn't have a dad. He didn't know anything. He was a young, unguided person, right? And because he's still an awesome person, he still thinks he's strong and still thinks he's right, you know, even though he just doesn't have all the pieces put in. And I tell him, like, bro, one, nobody gives a fuck about your town. It doesn't matter what your town's called.
Yeah.
If you want to go and gangbang in your town, the people who don't live there would love you to do that. They love you to be exactly who you are being because they want you to be that, but you need to be better than that and fix your fucking town and make it great, make you great. You are the person who makes the money, could change your community instead of just going and being exactly who they fucking want you to be as nobody and stay there, you know? And finally, he had to move. He moved to Arizona, became a man, got married, started his family. He had to get out of there. He realized, like, and then he got, you know what's crazy? This is crazy. I didn't think about this. Later in electrical work, right? We do a lot of solar here in town, and people put the solar panels on, or their laborers, we hire them, called CWs. Some of these people are shitty, some of these people are great people coming in life. And this one guy was on a crew, he was busting his ass, man. This guy was an awesome guy, great attitude, and just a great person. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, fuck, dude, like I said, how did you get here? You're such a great person, and just all these missteps, and finally the maturity, and everything's building up. They're at the right area now, you know? And this guy, I was talking to him, like, yeah, you so-and-so. Hey, you from Sanger? I know so-and-so. He's all, dude, I know him. He was a younger cat than me. We were gangbanging. I got him to gangbanging. And then he became something. And then when it came electrical, he came back and he told me, I was like, man, I saw him become something and leave and come back to our hood. I realized I'm fucking up my life. I need to do something. And I'm following his footsteps when he kind of came back. And he was doing electrical work, trying to get into the apprenticeship. Like, yeah. That's what he's meant to do. Exactly. That's a cycle that needs to be broken right there. You need to be giving back and growing, you know?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy because, like, one thing I want to do, like, there's a lot of stuff that I really want to do. Like, I'm starting off volunteer work. One day I want to gather enough football cleats to give cleats out to, like, the neighborhoods, like, because, bro, like, I'm not going to say this, like, because of bragging, but, like, I do a lot of stuff. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone does. You do a lot of stuff out of your heart behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? When I was younger, bro, I couldn't afford football cleats. So I had a fucking principal from my elementary school offer to buy them for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have went pro, of course, but I would have had a place on the team.
That meant a lot, building you as a person.
You know what I mean? So, but I didn't take it, bro, because of that pride. Because when you're younger, you want your parents to buy this type of shit for you. You know what I mean?
Or these friends to think that your parents bought it. That you're capable in your family to provide those things.
So, like, I get it, but like I like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to provide in that way.
Yeah.
And like help out in that way.
And that's the shittiest thing for kids, that it's not their choice, but they want to feel just like everybody else.
Exactly.
That you can provide your family has those just cleats.
Yeah, something simple as that.
I tell a story when I was a kid. I went from Tarpey over here, and they shipped us to Clovis West. Yeah. And that was the richest school in town. There's only two of them, Clovis West and Clovis High. My dad's a plumber, worked for the school district. And then I played football as an athlete. I was MVP everything at my school. I'm coming here. It was really small, though. And then you had to buy Nike Shark white cleats for the football team.
Damn, is that specific one too, huh?
Yeah,
so,
we went. I'm all, dude, I get one pair of shoes a year. I'm not wearing cleats all year. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm off the team. And you want me to get a physical? I don't even know what that is. And it costs money? Done. That was in for sports, you know, because my parents had no money to pay for nothing. You know, all my clothes were hand-me-downs. I don't know, you haven't searched, I don't know how much you search on me, but I've coached youth football for over a decade. I haven't done it in a while. But I coached here in the richest area, and then I had indifference with these people, terrible people. Yeah. So I left, and then Fresno High needed help. Or no, Fresno High just needs kids. So I took my kid over there, and they're like, hey, we need coaches. I'm like, oh, I'll help. And then within like a month, I pretty much like ran all the coaching. We had a president, he ran the team, but I ran all the coaching. Dope. And then I'm just trying to get kids in there, man. There's these amazing, beautiful kids. We had jerseys. It was like their airbrushed numbers on it. We had nothing. We had shitty everything. Yeah. We played at Fresno High Field, which was never mowed. Kids never had cleats. We barely had 13 kids when other teams had 30. And we had tryouts. I'd go around the neighborhood to everybody. Since I have two boys, I have shitloads of cleats. I'd give them out to everybody. Come, please join. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll pick you up. These kids, amazing athletes would show up. But when it's time to pay and time, or just forget the pay part, I got you. Yeah. When there's time just to get their social security number or time to get information on who they were, these families are already so broken with grandparents, you're not getting that information. Yeah. So these kids wouldn't even show up. But then the cleats meant so much to them. I would see them walk around with the cleats the rest of the season. They were not even on the team, but those cleats were the most important things that they ever had. Yeah, bro. You know, hell yeah, that's what it matters. I mean, like I say all the time when I coach football, I don't score any touchdowns. I don't throw any of the balls. I don't do anything out there. Their success means nothing to me unless they show up the next year. Yeah. If they show up the next year, I won, because then I got them to love the game and be part of the game. But if I can't get these kids to show up, I'm fucking losing. You know. Yeah, but those kids loved it. And when I took that group of kids and we went and played Buchanan, we played our old team that we came from, Fresno High versus Buchanan, at their area. We're talking about 5th and 6th graders. Yeah. And then we beat them on their field. They had jerseys with like multiple layers, like colors, like, so it was like a 4 and it had 4 4s on it because they were all embroidered. And ours were airbrushed purple fucking jerseys,
Shit.
and they were so shitty, and we went and kicked their asses. Nothing better. These kids never forget that. That was,
They don't.
and they don't know. They'll never remember who I am, but they'll remember that moment. That's what matters.
Yeah, bro. Exactly.
It's not about me. I don't need no accolade. It's about building people up.
That's true, man. I'm glad that you're able to like reach out to people and do something different. You know, one thing I did, I do jujitsu every once in a while, man. I like you mentioned.
Oh, yeah?
Like I do jujitsu every once in a while, you know, outside of comedy. Now that I'm really focused on comedy, I kind of like stepped away.
Yeah.
But I met some of the greatest people there.
Yeah.
And those kids are gonna meet great people doing that.
Yeah.
And you know, you learn a lot, dude, because there's just something about like sports that just like, you know, it has those you have like deeper sentimental values in them, bro.
Yeah.
Especially like individual sports. It's crazy because you're like, dang, but you go in there and like jujitsu's like comedy. You go in there, you get beat up.
Yeah.
Beat up and
To go through something and then be successful, you know, to work hard and, you know, to come out the other side and be successful. And then also, you know, physical touch is very important. You know what I mean? So if you're playing a sport and you're with your buddy, you're rubbing elbows, you know, you're high five and you're bumping them, you're talking, you've got a physical contact with somebody. You're going through an experience, it's going to build you up. You know what I mean? As long as it's positive. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, those things are important. I say a lot of time with these kids nowadays, they're not going through anything. Like back in the day, there was at least a struggle and, you know, to become a man. Everybody had to go through something. Now we're just, all of a sudden, people are just men. And they're giving themselves their own label of men without becoming whatever man to you is, whatever, you know. They don't have to be a man to be a man.
Exactly.
My man, my mind.
Yeah, you don't need to be raised by.
But sometimes people give themselves the title without even meeting their own expectations.
Yeah, and that's what sports is too, man. Like you learn, like it's life. Life makes you a man, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you learn from everybody, bro. I took a little bit of something from everybody that I came into contact with, and that's who, like, it molds you into who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sports are like that too. I've learned a lot from coaches.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I say build toolbox.
Exactly.
And like electricians, like, hey, every electrician you meet, to be good or bad, take what you can and grow from it. Then be better than them. You're taking their parts, be better. You know, don't miss out.
Yeah.
You know, that's what life's about. Well, I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we were going to call off about an hour ago, but we just keep on going.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for
This is beautiful.
doing
Yeah.
this.
This is already 150. We're getting into this. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's say like, subscribe, comment. If you're at the end of this, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
You know, you must know one of us. Probably know him.
Dude, for sure.
You know, so I would say I appreciate it. Another great episode, Lying and the Truth. And we out.
Thank you.